This young man and 10 others stand chanting at an abandoned historical site. The crowd was a mix of all ages, genders, and professions, united only by their shared confusion about why they were here. Everyone was restless. When suddenly, a tiny fairy appeared right before them and spoke up. They are talking about something matters about to open the space water source. So get ready to fight. However, it seems this crowd, beyond shouting, only knows how to loudly question me. She introduced herself as Iso, a female agent tasked with managing all the fools in this world. Now, the 2-star mercenary sneaks, seeing the little fairy who seems harmless, but stubbornly refuses to explain why she led them here. That is why he fiercely drew his sword, threatening to erase her existence if she kept staying silent like that. A scene of 10 identical frames repeats, as the life-threatening moment pierces the core. The heads of the monks snap away from their necks without a sound. The moment the young man lay down, the system board before everyone flashed a message, clearly stating that the 2-star subclass had just returned to the goddess's embrace. Oh my. Truly an extraordinarily tragic death worthy of eternal remembrance. Facing those bloodless, severed faces, Iso smiled cruelly and said, "Anyone among you still planning to attack me, prepare to return to the earth. That is self-defense." Got it. Countless piercing screams erupt. Just one person falling sends the rest fleeing like scalding water poured between their legs. Suddenly, the team formation system appeared in the shared space, with Lei, Lanto, Marilyn, Kenku, and finally Jackson stepping onto the field. The team is ready. Little Fairy Iso calls out, "Everyone prepare yourselves. The space-time rift is opening." As the words faded, the massive doors slowly creaked open, revealing a blinding, pristine expanse. He pointed that way and said cheerfully, "See that door? Hurry up. Unless you want to end up like me." Suddenly, and stepped forward and spoke his mind. "She definitely wants us to climb the tower again. At least we need to steal the weapons. She would not want to send a suicide squad in there. Right, that actually makes sense. So let us start sending messages to her contacts to request some basic gear for them. Over here." And tells the others to quickly gather weapons from the nearby house. Because whether they want it or not, the battle is about to begin. The first 5 people, one after another, stepped through the space door with forced expressions. But before even a minute passed, the system board began sending the names of those who had just fallen into the arms of death. The first group faltered, so the rest were gathered into a squad, ready to advance. Now, the old man with leprosy, seeing his turn approaching, began to sigh and complain. "Poor fairy. I suffer from chronic arthritis and can't move much. Please, miss, can you let me leave the team?" He thought people would pity him, but unlucky to be tricked by Jenna and fake Tran. "Arthritis my foot. He was just walking fine a moment ago. In times of hardship, we must stand together, even if he screams hoarse. The girl drags him away no matter what." I thought there'd be something beyond the gate, but it turned out to be a temple, only to be whisked away somewhere else moments later. The system board sends a notification that the first floor is open. Their mission is to subdue and eliminate all enemies. The Gokbin clan, resembling hyenas, approaches each a level 3, wielding 5-year-old sharp weapons, and knew the battle was about to begin and told everyone, "I have said it before, fight and live, or do not and die. Raise your heads and charge." Before you could finish your cheer, you turned around to see the 3 guys you were counting on running for their lives. Jenna shouted in frustration, "Hey old man, you just said you had arthritis." But they did not listen, blindly running for the sake of running, unaware this place is a closed space. So soon they were stopped by an invisible wall, not long after you left. Another player, also dragged into this world by fate like you, fell victim to the monster's strike. Unable to withstand the blow, the scene around was utter chaos, with screams and occasional shouts cutting through the noise. "Old man, fight now, there is a monster right on your tail," and openly despises this team. With you and Jenna, the other 3 are just untalented actors beyond getting slaughtered. They hardly contribute anything at all. Before them now stood 2 monsters, and turned to Jenna, asking how she wanted to handle it. Hearing that, Jenna replied immediately, "I will fight one. But what about the others? Why waste your strength worrying about those who do not even fight back?" But in a careless moment, while he was busy talking with the girl, his right arm was severed by a rogue root beast. "This pain is so overwhelming. I do not know where to put it all." And so he immediately slammed the wooden bench into the face of the monster who just lightly grabbed his arm to take revenge. The last image you remember before entering this world is the backup 999 monster grinning wide, thinking about being brought here to suffer by that Danzy when he was down, and immediately unleashed all his anger on his enemy, beating him so badly even the old folks at home would not recognize him. That strange, mysterious thing is what brought you here. Only problem is, it picked the wrong person.
Good.
After his arm was restored upon completing the gate, Hentai was still shocked to realize he had truly become a character in the game unluckily. Just a weak 1-star hero, you know, in the future. You are likely to be the one sacrificed to heroes with more stars. During breaks, Chu and Bi-hung train hard to boost their physical stats. After finishing the beginner training, he called out loudly to the central hub.
Wait.
Is she here? At that moment, the little fairy suddenly appeared. Fiercely confrontational. Not even caring what he wanted before cutting him off. No matter how many times they ask me, I won't answer. If you are curious, go climb the tower yourself. Her answers lie deep within that tower. Unfortunately, Han is the type who does the opposite of what is forbidden. And the more you tell him to be quiet, the more he wants to talk. He asked straight out, am I the only one who can see the status window above her head? Seeing the opponent hesitate with that fake sincerity, Han knew he was the only one who could see the message the dog sent to Master. You keep asking. Damn it. What will we do if Master escapes the dog game? And as always, an angry, nonsensical reply, but he did not care. Pressing on with questions whether the other wanted to explain or not. Soon enough, I finally realized that time here flows differently than on Earth. You can't touch him. Only intervene when defending yourself or a stubborn hero defies the Master's orders. At this moment, Jenna approaches, curious about what the two are discussing. You did not hesitate to tell her they would have to raid the 100th floor of the tower. There is an entity called the Master commanding through ISO, whether they want to or not. They must obey his orders and carry out the mission, and in the end, only upon reaching the 100th floor can one escape from here. After a whole day of training and gathering information, he finally uncovered a rule in this place. Essential items and food will regenerate the next day. Sometimes heroes of the same rank have different combat abilities. Training does not increase stats or levels but enhances skill, power, and recovery ability. He is forced to revive the other heroes as well. The annoying thing is, why are they all just new stars? They are all real people brought into this world like you. But they just scream louder. Seeing those open mouths uttering I miss my wife and I am starving to seek pity. You are utterly fed up after being gradually overwhelmed by Yuso in a battle. The noisy crowd, like ducks abandoned at the market, finally fell silent. They were forced through the space gate, reluctantly stepping with you into the tower's second floor to subdue and wipe out the enemies. The monsters, just revived, saw the mad human charging wildly to attack, facing the wide-open red mouth, and did not hesitate to deliver a sword strike. Then deliberately twisted it to make a large hole in its head. As one beast finished, another launched a surprise attack, and swiftly raised his shield to block the sneak strike, and swung his sword powerfully, cutting it down. On the other side, your female teammate is surprisingly skilled. Alone, she can turn those pawns into porcupines. Only 2 people carry the burden on the second floor, so all the dropped items can only be claimed by them. Matter seems to be a pro gamer who does not grind over 180 minutes, conquering just this floor before logging out. As soon as Jenna stepped outside, those 3 ducks came waddling over, all noisy and bothersome. Why do I even have to fight? Where is this place? Peanuts. And what are those monsters? Instead of rushing in to join those tireless voices, it is better for you to stand aside and observe. 1-star heroes lie far from the battlefield, so they are mostly weak and can't fight like higher-star heroes. A dark-skinned guy with a buzz cut approached, cocking his head, ready to ask you a few questions, and immediately covered his head, saying, go ask someone else. This is such a hassle. My brother got so emotional he wanted to scoop him up, but when he got confused, he immediately grabbed his collar and threatened. What did you just say? People do not speak up, assuming others are kind. But Han, unyielding, swung a punch aimed to shatter the man's face and end this conversation. The next day, Han seized the moment while Mater was offline to train fiercely with Jenna. Despite bruises and thigh wounds, they healed back to normal in seconds. They kept struggling together like that until Mater logged in. Just like the last crossing, only 2 warriors and 3 ducks stepped onto the field on this 3rd floor. While you and Jenna keep fighting, those 3 just stand there, unwilling to lift a finger, acting like dead weight for the team. Suddenly, and saw the system notification. The player had chosen to restart the challenge, so floors and 3 must all be replayed. I thought this would last a long time, but luckily, just as they grew wary, the ordeal ended. Just stepped out of the space gate, Jenna could not help but complain. I am losing my mind. How much longer do we have to carry those bastards? And said little, answering with a curt line. Don't worry. Today it will all end. Just as you predicted, Mater selects the heroes, and the next place they are taken is a sealed room to eliminate the weak. When the synthesis mode ended, only Han, Jenna, and the lucky blonde guy who was overlooked remained. After seeing the 2 of them dissolve into light, Aaron was scared and immediately took the chance during their break to find Hanan. Janet apologized for his earlier cowardice. Han did not expect much from this guy but still threw him a spear. Having heard it is the easiest weapon to use. Next, move straight to introducing the two teachings and directly tell him to get ready to fight. Aaron was speechless, his nerves instantly on edge. Wait, are not you going to teach me? Han replied immediately. I have never used a spear before. So what could I possibly teach you? I taught myself how to fight. So you better learn on your own too. As the words faded, he lunged forward, unleashing a relentless barrage, leaving his brother unable to lift his head, only bracing himself to block the blows. It was not until Aaron recklessly fought back that he got unlucky, taking a deep kick to the gut that left him unable to even stand upright. Jenna hesitated, wondering if it was too harsh for a first-timer to be guided this way. Blunt and straightforward, fired back immediately. I do not want to take care of others. So if you can't keep up, I will just leave you behind. Then, you press the wooden sword's tip against the enemy's throat, emphasizing that being done by monsters hurts more than being overwhelmed. If we can't defeat them to survive, then family, loved ones, and even sworn brothers mean nothing now. After clearing Aaron's mind, and headed to the warehouse, noticing it had just been opened. You called Isso here just to ask if she really sent the tip to Waterflag, just like she can go online and hack the user system because of summoning items 10 times. From unlocking the training base to unlocking the forge, it is exactly the same as a post by a player named Loki. Mention Loki, and Isso instantly reveals the true fan within. Surely, the person is only on the lower floors. Lord Loki is the master of masters, the war god of pick-me-up. If he could summon a 7-star hero, he would already be the top in the world. Poor little fairy, known as the ultimate hardcore fan. But the moment Hen admits he is Loki, she instantly freezes up. Account number 466319113 is known only to the account holder and the server to prevent hacking risks. Check it yourself. And if you still do not believe me, do you want me to read the museum account too? Immediately check the account from the system. Oh my. The moment she realized the person in front of her was the great god, she threw away all her pride, forgetting he was the one she hated most, and begged for his signature. But as the two chatted, they suddenly realized something far more terrifying. Niflheim is the name of the waiting system in Han's account. He is the master. But if he is outside now, what about the 20,000 other players in Niflheim watching that frantic little fairy? You feel disheartened knowing this was all a mistake. Yet she lacks the power to bring you back to reality. Not only that, but Master Wadov is also an earthling completely unaware of their presence. That guy's just playing games while a wild bunch like you are getting tormented, and here it is infuriating just to think about. You tried asking her a few more questions, like whether you could return after beating the game, or who brought you here, but got nothing in return, while his teammates trained with fervor. In his eye, Jenna was a true talent, a stark contrast to the clumsy Aaron. You can't let your teammates stay weak like that. So you called those two to follow you. Next, using the name of Half-Metal Loki, he demanded Isol to open the warehouse to collect some broken parts for crafting new weapons. From the very first sword forging, with only a furnace and scarce materials, shortages piled up, so the system imposed 2 penalties on him. Despite choosing manual mode, the pilot ignored warnings and risked it all by selecting an ultra-hard level, leaving Isol stunned. Countless cubes cascade like a chaotic waterfall, no order to their fall, and flashes a serene lotus smile, then unleashes a dozen lightning-fast strikes beyond human speed. In less than 3 minutes, he managed to forge a C-grade sword, its hardness surpassing all the sharp blades he had used before. Not stopping there, he kept adding more weapons for his teammates. The day they were dragged to the 4th floor, Jenna knew this crew was hardcore when a single arrow sent the monster flying back 10 meters. But Sukana in the matter spot won't revive heroes. Only those 3 enter the field, facing monsters both in the sky and on the ground. Seeing everyone panic, she immediately took charge, managing the happy gears, Aaron, and Jenna's guard. The group quickly strategized and formed ranks. Young Aaron, known as the team's protector, swung his sword wildly and screamed in fury before the monster even arrived. The guy's so hype, you would think a single dry leaf falling could kill him instantly. What a wild scene. Jenna was the first to lose her temper. She furiously swung her hand, slapping him across the face while shouting, "Calm down. You will die if you fail again this time. Are you okay with that?" Staring blankly at the blood dripping onto his hand, Aaron realized where he went wrong, then steeled himself and joined the battle with newfound determination. Soon after, the monsters on the 4th floor were finally wiped out. Mater's humble mansion has leveled up to tier 2, increasing the hero capacity as well. Not only that, but the annex, the alchemy district, and several previously built areas have also surpassed this stage multiple times, leveling up once again. Look at that ISO fairy bringing a pile of games. It is clear Mater Water Flasher is an office worker who sticks to a fixed schedule. Not only that, but they also splurge on VIP right from the start. Because this pick-me-up game is known to drain players' wallets, even more than oil-sucking chickens. Besides not rewarding players after each level, they hardly ever hold any events for the grind hardcore players. Suddenly, the system alerts that their mater is starting to undergo 10x regeneration. Chaitra. After the blinding flash of light, a crowd was pulled in here, scattering like a broken hive. I have heard the same questions over and over. Where am I? Who? What the hell is happening? So many times I am about to lose my mind. With his gruff nature and dislike for talking much, he pointed the sword at a man and threatened. Silence. I have no intention of explaining myself to you. I only explain to those who can survive and think calmly. These people were brought here for a reason. Little Fairy Isso flew before them and began assigning tasks, gradually inspecting the newly built facilities. Because many one-star heroes were weak, Mater began sorting and purging them from the team. The first to meet the standard was immediately thrown into the first floor. But before long, one by one, they all returned to the embrace of the goddess. Next up, Atu. But this time Eren steps forward to Isso and declares he will join the fight. At first, she chased him away. But when the Grandmaster said to let him in there to gain experience, she immediately obeyed. Wait until his ally returns, only to see the group drenched in blood. Young Eren even proudly claimed he had defeated a female monster. Time passed, and Han began the grueling training, honing his martial skills with the new recruits. Jenna and Eren's weapon skills have improved significantly. There is a saying that Eren is always the first to arrive, and the last to leave. But his spear skills have only just started to show some promise. In the days that followed, more newcomers were revived and brought here. But Han no longer worried, for Eren and the three younger boys took care of everything, until one day, Jenna suddenly asked why Mater had not come to the 5th floor, since they had cleaned the 4th floor quite a while ago, and did not specify to her, only replied that the other members of Team 1 had yet to be assigned. From what you know, the 5th floor is far more difficult than the ones below. It is like the boss floor. Even you would struggle to survive. Inside the 4th floor, the mission to scout and eliminate the target begins. The monsters are instantly revived, while Han and his team brace themselves to wipe them all out. The battle began shortly after. Just for show to fill the ranks he only commanded, while they were the ones who fought. The three kids up front use rings to hold back the enemies, while the archer and swordsman take on the task of killing them. You did not join because you could easily surpass this. It is really just a chance for others to train. Just as expected, everything ended quite smoothly. Lately, Master has been playing games a bit too much. On the second 10x card draw, besides the Tier 1 group, he also received a blacksmith and a servant to activate the storage shop. Most of the gear they produce is grade E. But thanks to that, the new recruits get armed and survive. The three fugitives were forced to unite, for only by working in a clean environment could they survive. The long-awaited day has finally arrived, after a period of stagnation. Today they have finally stepped into a new year. They all arrived in a ruined city with no monsters in sight, and thought silently. The entire city was empty, no sign of the monster, nor any civilians. This definitely is not a reconnaissance mission. To quickly figure out what was wrong, Han told Jenna to climb the nearby clock tower for a check. The only female member immediately left, but upon seeing what was before her, she turned pale with fear. I hope I am just seeing things, but there are a lot of root rats outside the city, and it looks like they are heading this way. And asked immediately, how many do they have? She did not hesitate and replied immediately, thousands of them. Oh my. The whole group suddenly snapped awake after hearing that, and saw his brother Eren getting restless, and immediately reassured him. Don't panic. The mission is not to wipe them all out, just to survive. We just need to hold off those monsters for a little while, and we will be fine. That was the initial plan. But once they started, they realized no houses were open. Sensing the situation was dire, the whole group took off running like madmen, only stopping when they reached a fork in the road. The monsters are closing in fast. Han quickly lays out a new plan. I will handle the left. Eren takes the right. Jeet and Hansen cover the rear. Take turns attacking. Do not jump in to help unless it is necessary. Jenna's bed is a crucial market. You tell her to stay right at the crossroads. And if there is no order, absolutely do not shoot. The plan was just finalized when Han suddenly noticed a wild boar sniffing right in front of him. Hey darling. I have been waiting here since the afternoon. The moment we spotted each other, the 30-minute clock suspended and midair started counting down. At 26 minutes 48 seconds, the monsters swarm in droves, piling up like a mountain that seems endless. Monsters surround us from all sides. Han thrusts his sword into one, then spins around to command. Jeet, switch places with Hansen. Now, that young man, drenched in sweat and stubborn as ever, kept pushing on until you stepped in and scolded him, finally making him sit down and take a break. This situation is intense. The goblin swarm rushes in recklessly, but their sheer numbers make their strength fade fast. Young Hansen had barely stepped onto the field before being called back to rest, making way for Jeet to come in and support. When it was Jenna's turn, she was more efficient. One arrow, one target. shooting continuously, then quickly retrieving her arrows for the next shots. Time is slipping away. Eren can't hold back and shouts out, "Big brother, did not you say there is only 10 minutes left?" "Yeah, it is just 10 minutes. But 10 minutes of those wild party moments." And now, Jeet suddenly screams in pain. Everyone looked over and realized he had just lost an arm, his stats plummeting fast. So it was Hansen's turn to run up and switch places. Being too bold at such a young age was truly Jeet's first big wake-up call. I saw him crying like a baby, and angrily kicked him to snap him out of it. "You crybaby. Get a grip. Damn it. Are you trying to drag us all down with you?" After finishing, he turned and jabbed the monster the same leg that kicked his teammate, now strikes the enemy with the precision of a skilled commander. Jeet-han is hurt. Now Hansen screams that the sword is about to break. Once again, they switch places while Han watches from afar, while holding back the monsters. He occasionally updates the team. 3 minutes left. Just hold on for 3 more minutes. Though your words sounded hopeful, inside you are screaming, "Damn it. Is 30 minutes really this long?" The pairs kept switching back and forth, but before long, the younger Jeet was fatally stabbed by a stray root bin and collapsed instantly. The system instantly displayed a warning. Jeet, a once, has fallen into critical condition. Life hanging by a thread. At this point, the inexperienced rookies start getting picked off. As everyone grows weaker and the core troops swarm in, more and more. Hansen was taken away right after Jeet, leaving only 3 heroes remaining. Jen has drained blood and met Master, but with a weak hand, he could not pull out any good heroes. The enemies are worse than zombies, so Hans has to switch to another plan to hold on. Jenna and Eren are moving with me. If you want to mourn for them, you have to survive this first. The group ran to a wall, where Hans told Jenna to climb up first while the men would follow behind. As the girl leaves, he seizes the moment to slash down a few more monsters to buy time, then leaps onto the wall and signals Eren to climb up quickly. Unexpectedly, halfway through, he was pinned to the wall by a fierce thug wielding a knife, pressed against his calf. Unable to watch his comrade trapped, with no other choice, he jumped down to isolate it and cut off the leg to avoid getting caught. Though everyone knows their bodies will regenerate after completing the stage, one member fell into a dangerous state from blood loss while saving the team just now. The monsters grew more frenzied, piling up to form a bridge. Determined to hunt down the 3 of them, Leet saw them coming like a deadly plague, everyone gasping for breath in panic, and quickly told Jenna to use Eren's spear to stab them instead of shooting arrows like before. The girl instantly caught on, teaming up with him to claw through the last 30 seconds of this hellish level. Just a moment in, and it is all over. The spear in Jenna's hand was knocked away. When you told her to brace with her foot, you turned back to see a few kids already climbing up. "Oh my. Is there anything else? Just bring it all on. I can't take this anymore." You raised your sword, ready to strike the nearest enemy, when suddenly a sharp pain pierced your abdomen. That dog pulled so hard it tore a long gash in the spot. All 3 are in critical blood loss. Even the ancestral altar has a seat ready for them, witnessing attacks from all sides. The male lead suppresses his tears and laments his cursed fate. "It is so unfair. I do not understand why I am facing so many obstacles. Why me? Wow. In a life or death crisis like the 82nd disaster." And sings without even knowing it. In a moment of losing control, he swung his sword wildly. "Anyone who charged got sent straight to the afterlife. This is how I fight. I will send you all on a pilgrimage." And has mastered the art of rage. A new skill could not have come at a better time. He instantly switched to slaughter mode, let out a loud roar, and told the monsters to all come at once. "Fighting in waves is too exhausting. I can't even catch my breath." A reckless youth rises from the depths of society, sword shattered but determined to fight blood and bone against the monsters ahead. But at the climax, time just ran out, causing everything before his eyes to suddenly freeze and shift into a negative image. The 3 of us cleared the level and defeated the monsters, hoping for bonus rewards. But all we got were 2 grade B wooden planks. This game truly deserves to be deleted and rated 1 star 10,000 times. The 3 supported each other as they returned to base, when a young boy from the group of first-level youths rushed out to greet them, looking quite cheerful. Eldest sister Chloe has prepared delicious food. Are Zid and Hansen still in there? And coldly and calmly said just one sentence. They had sacrificed everything, instantly leaving the young man speechless. Hen returned to his room and buried his face in the pillow, lost in thought about everything that had happened. 2 members have fallen, and you gained a new skill from that moment of losing control. However, his previous skill kept him grounded and clear-headed, but this time, he had to let go of everything to surge in power. It must be because you only have half the hero's power, while the others did not receive any opposing skills like that. Having faced life-threatening hardships, your entire team plunged into intense training the very next day. A month passed in the game like that, and after a long time of waiting, the fairy Isso finally appeared. But as always, This crazy girl talks big to the new guys who can't even keep their cool because they refuse to train their souls. Only then did they announce that the space rift had opened, and some would be taken away for the mission. The crowd was led to a gate bearing the inscription, Daily Decay Chamber Kendo Stop, open for 11 hours. This mission was to gather rare materials. Soon after, the team of 4 entered the Rotten Cave. Known for its ultra-easy mode, Jenna speaks first. Where is the enemy? Could this be a special mission like at Nama? And immediately explained that the cellar was usually just a place for gathering materials. Just put it in there and it is done. After explaining how to collect everything, he told Jenna to follow him on the hunt. Their first target is a hawk. Jenna has been craving meat for a long time, and now that she sees its delicious neck right in front of her, she can't help but drool. An arrow flew swift and true, piercing the monster's neck. She was a hunter by trade, so without hesitation, she stepped forward and stabbed the freshly shot animal with her knife. Not only that, he also explained the butchering method aloud for the person beside him to hear. Seeing her so happy, and teased her a bit before quickly leaving to find a new lead. Elsewhere in the forest, he watches a forest king and its pack. It is a rare beast found only in the forest's decaying depths. Heroes like you will be hunted down, because low-grade attribute stones dropped from its body are often used as upgrade materials. Seizing the moment, and leap down from above into the midst of the beasts. Your first strike takes down one male. Then you swiftly finish the other before they even realize what is happening. Now it is just you, the 2-meter-tall forest king. You glare at him challengingly and taunt. All your lovers are dead. Does not that piss you off? Come here quickly with me. A group of people were scavenging when suddenly, something huge and terrifying lurked behind the trees. Someone screamed, "Oh my!" A monster. The other man with him remained calm, and he vaguely realized it was Han, hastily speaking up to confirm. Now, the hero, drenched in blood, carrying his hard-won prize on his back, slowly steps forward. You drop the Lamb King's head to the ground and told Jenna to handle the rest, because you have no experience with dissections. The true protagonist of this damn game should have been that girl, leveling up by fighting monsters. After leveling up, now even sitting down to butcher wild beasts grants new skills. What is going on? Thanks to today's hunting trip, that night everyone enjoyed a feast of meat to make up for the days spent gnawing on raw potatoes, and waited for Jenna to finish eating, then urged her to join him in a fall to find upgrade items. The usual Crimson Prison shifts with each turn. Today's location is Shimazu Plateau, a crimson prison gathering various elemental stones. Before the majestic mountains stretching like an endless plain, Jenna could not help but immediately praise the breathtaking sight before her, and was different. He was intently watching the tree of life growing beneath the cliff. They are known as the main ingredient for healing potions, so you will gather them all at once when you return shortly. After a long tailing, the two finally found and defeated a giant lizard 3 times their size. While Jenna was dissecting the lizard to extract the elemental stone, she cheerfully said, "It is so peaceful here. I wish it could always be like this, hunting and gathering herbs, with food and a roof over my head." Suddenly remembering Matter, she continued, "If only Matter were not here, this would be paradise." The young man heard those words and his face turned ashen. If only he had known the game character harbored such bitterness earlier, he would not have wanted to play this game from the start. A few days later, their unit was reassigned to the 6th floor with a new member, Zika, and moves through the forest, quietly urging everyone to crouch low to avoid enemy detection. With those stiff expressions, and the nightmare called the 5th floor haunting them, all 3 members unanimously decided to just lie flat on the ground to be safe, and was helpless but said nothing. While anxiously checking every corner of the forest, the group discovered 3 level 8 goblins nearby, sitting and talking together. Jenna quickly climbs the tall tree to get a better view and report back, noticing they all carried pistols. He warned the group to stay alert for any sudden moves. The lair of these beasts lies not far, with about 100 of them. Han's plan is to become the Whispering Dust, striking guerrilla style, sudden and unseen. Jenna takes the kid on the right, Aaron handles the next one, and the rookie stays here playing until the whole team needs backup. Han's team is truly a force to be reckoned with. The first arrow flew swiftly, shattering the designated enemy's helmet. Aaron did not stand still either. He struck the second son's head with his spear, the last one. Just as he was about to imprison and ascend, it was already too late, and merely waited for the moment, then swept his sword in a single stroke, successfully uprooting the radish from the ground. Just as the 3-horned beetles were defeated, no immediate change occurred, and seized the moment as chaos settled to search for clues about the next gate. Because the mission is to explore new lands, there is never just one task assigned. You use the last of your strength to reach the monster village, but just as you caught a glimpse, you were summoned back to base. The new team just returned from the cooking competition when Chloe rushed over, breathless, to warn that armed men had appeared at their home, and heard about these people, and immediately realized the problem was unlike any previous summoning. He is Lee Matter the Unlucky finally summons a high-level hero and quickly called Izo to get to the bottom of things and learned that the gamer friend had just spent an extra $50 on the newbie pack to unlock these characters. You told everyone to do their own thing. The newcomer might be a bit suspicious, but they would not harm anyone without reason. A beautiful girl leans against the wall, lost in thought, when Jenna suddenly rushes over to start a conversation. "Hello, madam. I am Jenna Sarah. What is your name?" At first, she was a bit uneasy but politely replied that she was Edie Collin. A 3-star character info panel with the thief class appeared right before Han's eyes. He silently sized her up, then invited her to the dining room to talk. Here, Edie recalls not remembering how she was summoned into the game. What she understands best is that survival means fighting, and fusion is sacrificing one form to empower the other. She also said that in the real world, she is just a mercenary for the Sand Pump Guild, and while on the battlefield, she was suddenly pulled here. Who would have known? As they were all talking, suddenly outside there was a call summoning newcomers to the square. A towering man stormed out, biting into a piece of meat he had just snatched from the kitchen, then happily followed Edie to the designated spot. The world knows Avant as the chosen captain of their team. Those strange guys suddenly appeared here armed, and a few 1-star rookies ran to Han, hinting they wanted him to back them up. Unfortunately, they trusted the wrong people. No matter what, Hong Mohu must be immediately punished to save face. Not long ago, you all took training lightly, so why are you now begging me for help? If your clan is truly strong, then kneel and surrender. But to betray your own bloodline, that is the survival tactic you all rely on. In your eyes, these people are nothing but a lazy swarm of parasites living off others. So I ended it with a final line colder than ice. Get out of my sight before I lose my mind. Over here, the mercenaries had just left a moment ago, only to return looking impeccably clean. The gang leader sneered at Han, demanding to know who he was. But when Han ignored him, the others quickly scattered in anger. Jenna's no pushover either, quick to snap back like a shrimp. If anyone's to blame, it is you guys being rude and pushy. Only then did he realize the truth and speak more clearly. I am Ovent Dsac of the mercenary band, and you are. Since this guy spoke more straightforwardly, he did not make things difficult, and just exchanged a few words of introduction with him. Just a moment ago, the system announced that Mater spent money to revive 10 low-level heroes. The biggest surprise was that as soon as I withdrew the card, I immediately activated the sacrifice mode to summon a high-level hero, without even giving them a chance to prove themselves. Help me. Help me. As the ISO game manager clutched his head and screamed, "Oh God. Mater, you are such a fool." The newcomers barely understood a thing before the giant with golden hair grabbed the neck and dragged them away clumsily. Just by watching the situation, you can tell how bad Mater is at gaming. The 1-star mobs are mostly useless. Some can be valuable if properly utilized. He sacrificed everything just for some 3-star guys, definitely a total noob, playing the game for the first time. Seeing the remaining level 1 members about to be dragged away, he could not stand by and hurriedly asked Izo to send a message to Mater, hoping to stop this from happening. That instantly made the big guy Jaquin, the ol' stomp over and rudely ask who he was to dare meddle in their business. He does not punish anyone, so they take revenge freely. Why? Because they believe the innocent are guilty. That mad dog has held a grudge against you for a long time, so he won't hold back. He immediately strikes with a swift slash. Just unfortunate to miss. And on top of that, take a threatening arrow from the village guard Jenna. The two sides started clashing over this opening move. As Ovan, leader of the wolf gang, aggressively pointed his sword at him and asked, "Do you know who your father is?" Well said. Then just say it straight, you are a bunch of scoundrels. Not only that, but he also exposed that the gang in front of him were no mercenaries at all. Clearly, they are just a bunch of petty thieves. Nothing more. Just for a moment, you turned to Iso and said plainly that no matter how high the level, sometimes there will still be heroes with a dark nature who get revived. These guys not only mess up the waiting room, but also reduce the effectiveness of the pass. So in other words, they are just a nuisance that needs to be eliminated. You used your half-matter status to demand the dual system be activated. Sometimes you have to speak with violence, not preach to them. Those mercenaries claim to be hired guns, but from the start, they were after the population in the area. So as soon as they are sure no one can stop them, they immediately start moving like before. You challenge their captain, with the condition that if you win, you absorb Han. But if Han wins, you become the one absorbed, and points at his opponent and demands, "Start the fight this time." You are really in for it. Good. To make things clear, I will say this one last time. The match ends when one of us surrenders. Do you agree? The opponent nodded in agreement, then immediately drew his sword and lunged to attack him as fast as possible. From an outsider's view, it is a 3-star hero going head-to-head with a 1-star hero. But unlucky for Han, he is a 1-star hero on the outside, yet a fierce 4-star swordsman hidden within, and activates the rage state. Intelligence drops sharply by 10 points, but all other stats gain 5. This old Smoky Bike instantly turns a nobody into a true boss. This just shows. Do not be arrogant over such a small gap in skill. This match won't be as easy as you think. A sword strike missed, and instantly moved behind at lightning speed, one hand gripping hand, the other pressing his head down. Not even a sound. Forcing that defiant face straight onto the hard ground, not stopping there. He gave his opponent no chance to recover. Swiftly drawing the sword from his back and plunging it into the body lying at his feet, debris flew up in a frenzy, accompanied by Oven's piercing scream. Like a pig being prodded. Now you lean in closer and softly urge your opponent to surrender, easing their pain. Before anyone could even say surrender, you twisted the sword lightly, turning Han's words into a scream. One of the wolf pack could not stand it and spoke up to stop it. But Han did not like that. They say to let the hand go. But have they ever thought about letting go, when I am still burning with the desire to take them all down? Here. You are the boss. So whatever you say goes. Besides, a duel agreed upon by both parties means only the participants can decide to stop. There is no place for outsiders like him to meddle. Van could not take it anymore, ready to surrender. But the moment he opened his mouth, he was silenced cruelly, so even if he wanted to, he could not end it. He looks at those eager to consume him and firmly declares, "This guy's mine now. Do not worry about his life or death, just come back and fight." Even with an ick dropping to 1, he still remembered his goal. Stopped talking to the others, looked at it, and asked why she was still lurking around them. The situation's clear, so is she going to keep playing with those fools? Or join your team? Yeah, Tris. Surrounded by a barrage of harsh insults from the rude Jaquin, they kept arguing while the scholar stealthily reached for the sword nearby. But there is no way to fool you. So before I even got the chance to touch you, you slammed my head to the ground once again. One side offers a polite invitation out of respect, while the other just shouts curses. One bastard after another. No need to think twice, it is obvious who she will choose to be with. One member's departure shattered the wolf pack, and watching their leader get beaten down by others made the remaining 3 furious beyond words. They brought no more trouble and immediately charged, ready to fight you to the death. Not to mention, he is so reckless he ignores Iso's warnings and declares he will kill anyone who dares to get involved. Iso has not struck yet, so everyone thinks she is weak. These heroes keep defying matter and underestimating the system she is about to unleash a threat. And you are done for. No second chances. The moment the words ended, a stream of fresh blood suddenly appeared right before everyone's eyes. Though she is tiny, it is just a facade to conceal the terrifying power of a level 257. These guys seem easier to handle than picking bananas. The entire squad was wiped out in the blink of an eye. With no support left, Van immediately declared surrender, and the fusion welding was just a matter of time, and escaped the rage. Only to hear Iso report that Matter was frantically tapping his phone screen. Everything was spiraling out of his control. Hank could tell he wanted to cancel the synthesis, but as a newbie spender, he had no chance. Might as well let me guide him through the game. After fusing 3 upgraded 3-star cards into a 1-star, Leon received 2 new skills. However, the limitation is that even at the highest level, if Matter wants to break through you now, it must first level up itself. He walked on, quietly pitting the small-time player who loved saving money but lost a 4-star hero on his first misclick. This time I spent a fortune on VIP to get 5 3-star champions, but I lost 3 of them and the other one got absorbed by you. There truly is no pain like any other pain. It is deeply dark. My friend, after what just happened, he calmly looked up at the sky and wondered what his Matter friend would do next. If you want to deal with him, you have to do it decisively, or you will get burned. As soon as Han returned to the base, the first-level crowd immediately rushed over to thank him and then dispersed. He sighed deeply and said they must have misunderstood somewhere. He only saved the newcomers. There is no way he would stand up for greedy bastards. Fatty and the other 5 did not understand what he meant. Coincidentally, Iso announced that all 6 of them must assemble outside immediately. The atmosphere suddenly erupted into chaos, as the chubby henchman turned to everyone and reassured them that Matter would just take them hunting the Gop Bin clan. So there was no need to panic. Everyone clings to hope, but forgets that Han, the saintly ruler, is still here. Just say it. Anything else, send it to the compilation. Facing those beloved artists who love playing tragic roles, you ask Aaron and Zika one by one during their grueling practice, where are those guys now? As for Jenna, while a girl has to go out hunting, what the hell are those guys doing to help? Just as he started to lose his temper, the Iso fairy hat threw a punch faster, knocking down the unpleasant man in one move. No matter how much they cry in lament, the end result is nothing more than being used as sacrificial lambs to feed wide. The new group summoned today, and immediately used the predecessors as a warning to awaken them. He also told me that if I can't fight, I should find a few people behind me and learn the trade. There are many ways to survive, so stop turning yourself into a useless person. The next morning, and called Wide early to come with him to the training ground. Here, you ask Jenna to spar with her, but you emphasize that she must use the dagger technique, not the open hand style. When the boss speaks, Jenna follows, while Rogam twirls lightly in her palm, finishing with flair before launching the first strike. If a 1-star archer uses a vegetable and makes a 3-star assassin like wide dodge so hard they almost faint, her attack speed and strength were so unexpectedly fierce that Yide could not hold out for long. No matter how hard he tried, sitting stunned on the ground. She asked immediately, "Were you two mercenaries? Or from some famous martial arts clan?" Jenna replies, "Not all. I am just an ordinary girl of an ordinary hunter, having observed for a long time." Stepped forward to explain that a 3-star hero was already powerful. She possesses superior skills and levels up faster than those 1-star players. A little here means you must continuously train both your physical strength and combat experience to fully unleash your power. Young Aaron, who asked to remain anonymous, was hauling stones nearby and overheard these words, immediately raising his voice to argue. "Drive them out. Girl. Drive them all out. I am worn out but still can't catch up with them." Look at that quirky expression. Hen ignores his words but emphasizes one final point. Even if she was an id before, now that she is in this world, she must not slack off in training. After the hero purge, the newcomers began to understand things better. When the rookie trial took place, Aaron wanted to join again, but he was refused. 2 have perished, and 2 more become sacrifices for the new figure called Usher. At dawn in Han's eyes but midnight to all others, the 5 beloved members were summoned to the yard for a game of chance. Their group has a total of 6 people, so you will split into 2 teams, with you and Ed as captains. You said that for special missions like those on the 5th floor, it might take 10 or even 100 people. It would be reckless not to train enough members. And we definitely need a backup team in case the main squad is wiped out. After explaining clearly, he raised 2 cards and said, "Red goes with me. Blue goes with Ed. No need to be happy or sad, because to me, Idaho is the same. But fate has already decided. Playing all out for May now. The trio of 1-star remains undefeated. Teams 1 and 2 are set." And immediately suggests to Mater to fix all members like this. But whether he listens is up to his own mind, since gaining new skills and rage, fighting has become effortless. Team 1 just entered floor 7 to eliminate monsters. And this time, he told everyone to stand back while he handled the little ones himself. As the close combat erupted, and instantly switched to stealth mode, diving into the chaos, striking from all directions, taking down nearly all the enemy routes in the blink of an eye. Now, only a tiny trembling girl stands before him. Yet Hen chooses not to destroy her and decides to let her go. You follow the clues at each step, weaving them together into a chain. This 8th floor holds a few things that catch your eye. It is raining. There is a large river near where they stand. And finally, the trace of a dam. After getting what they needed, he and his gang return to the base. Suddenly, an image flashes before his eyes. Mater outshines the red car from before. So this time he splurges $70 on a new power-up pack. What goes around comes around. With so many games on, you immediately tell Jenna to bring the drawing paper from your room and place it on the table, while Aaron runs to get the adhere as fast as possible. The harvest is in, so we gotta rush to upgrade Mater. Wasting time would be a real shame. After recklessly spending his salary to top up VIP level 2, this time little Mater is smarter, using only 2 premium summons instead of going all out like before. Success came perfectly. He spent 1,000 games to exchange for 2 3-star heroes, Ivanka and Uncle Roderick. But this sister Dime Dua just appeared in all her glory for a few seconds, then kicked off with an indescribably humiliating blunder. Just a quick glance at the way they dare to fall but not stand up shows they are clearly from a noble clan. The only thing unclear is why this girl was summoned to a battlefield just to talk with fists. Old hands like them take some time to open the minds of the rookies. While Uncle Roderick babbled on cluelessly, the other man looked a bit disappointed. From the information gathered, he is the guardian of a great city, burdened by an unshakable sense of duty. Yet his memories are almost entirely lost, and tells them he needs more manpower. So he will start the draw now. If Y draws the blue card, the uncle will follow her. Otherwise, it will be the deadly matchbook. After the stream, Livene shouted loudly, running to tell Jenna to bring the raffle ticket for him. As they scrambled forward, the marked slip bounced up, both instantly seeing what they desired and rushing toward it as fast as they could. Both hands coincidentally reach for the red slip. Ivanka is a rare sorceress, so this match does not give any handicap at all. The winner takes the top spot. No arguments. Just try being a good guy once. England. The mage fits my team way better. What a pity. I have never been a good person. Not once. They compete for a reason. In Pick Me Up, warriors and thieves can be upgraded to 1-star through proper nurturing, but mages are different. They can only be obtained through paid summons, with an extremely low drop rate. So not trying is just foolish. Seeing this endless argument, Jenna realized they had been spying earlier. So she immediately took back the draw and shuffled again to prevent cheating. At the second draw, each person held in their hand something that silenced their soul. No one said a word until Hanser drew the red card this time. He is in deep. For someone to arrive, someone must leave. As usual, a useless level 1 is dragged by Iso to the assembly room to be sacrificed for the new hero. Though it is harsh, what can we do? Everyone just wants to survive. Let us open the space portal. Lord So above still can't drop the habit of showing off when sending newcomers to test their skills beyond the gate. Heidi and Roderick entered first. While Hands on this side asked Ivanka what kind of spells she was using, she heard that and put on a displeased look, asking why he wanted to know. Unexpectedly, she immediately caught the threatening gaze from her captain. Do not you want to fight anymore? Just answer. The enemy still does not realize the situation they are in, so they keep provoking you. Wait. Why should I even step into that? It is frustrating to fight in a strange place without knowing why. Hands was exhausted, speaking to Bai like water off a duck's back. He dropped the friendly act and bluntly told her the truth. Jiang, if you do not fight, you will end up as raw material for synthesis like before. Now, do not make me impatient. Tell me clearly what spells you can use. If that is the case, Ivanka can only admit her strongest move is the level 3 fire ring. Beyond that, she knows nothing. Still, I am confident that if you witness her magic, you will be utterly amazed. No other spell can compare. No need to wait until then. You are already amazed right now. That means she can participate in rituals involving other spells. In another world, mages fight up close, moving like assassins, no longer bothering with spells at all. The spoiled young lady seems incapable of handling those tasks. Its team has returned. This time, it is Group 1's turn to enter the spatial rift. The floor you think matter will take them to is the 4th floor, where the Happy and Goblin reside, perfect for testing the skills of new mages. When the battle begins, we will just stand back and watch to see how far your abilities go. By the way, you explained that with the strength of one of the 3 of them, they could easily clear this floor. But she bragged about being a powerful sorcerer, so show us then. Unexpectedly, she slapped him back hard. Yeah, just watch and see. And Nin feared they would go to the 4th floor, never expecting their destination to be the 8th floor of basement 9. Amazing job. That damn matter must be holding a grudge against you for taking down those 3-star generals. So he is trying to teach the whole gang a lesson and told everyone to focus. But moments later had to rush to protect Ivanka from an arrow aimed at her head. The notice clearly states that this mission is to eliminate the beast-riding goblins. But there are not just one, they number as many as 27. Dad, Goblin's underground journey is tough enough, but adding the mount combo, this trip's gonna need a full revival just to carry us. How can the descendants handle it? The monsters are closing in fast. Arin, lead the team when they get close. Dodge to the side and strike. The old allies are all settled. But just as I was about to brief the new ones, chaos erupted, and I had to brace myself for the onslaught. Just blocked a sneaky arrow with my shield when a goblin rider closed in without hesitation, and swiftly slashes with his sword, taking out both the chariot and its beast in one swift move. Next, move in to take down the ones closest to you. You and Arin struggle to hold the line here, while the witch grandmother stands there, helpless and useless beyond words. You got so angry you yelled out, I am a sorcerer. Kill them all. Besides chanting Om they, Ivanka said she needed a minute to recite a spell. So the whole group had to brace themselves to protect her, while waiting for everything to be completed. All the monsters seemed to be fixated on her, eager to capture or kill her at any cost. And knows he can stall for time. But if all escape routes are blocked, he will need to buy a resurrection ticket in advance. There is no way he can handle it otherwise. He dodged a swipe and turned to ask Ivanka if she could conjure up a few magic shields. But the other side remains silent, unsure if they heard or simply cannot respond. The monsters are right beside us. I have spotted the mother. Turns out this one can't cast spells while moving. She has to stand still to chant the incantation. Can we change it now? If we wait until the mission's over, we will probably all end up buried together. A thug took advantage and swung his blade hard at Ivanka's head, but the lady was too slow to dodge and recklessly rushed forward, embraced her, and spun around once, narrowly escaping that moment of danger. Unexpectedly, I got scolded instead. What are you doing? Can't you see I am turning all that mana into fire? And grabbed the diaper from behind and, with the others, plunged headlong toward the forest ahead, all the while his mind racing to devise a plan to survive this ordeal. They will arrive there first. Once inside the forest, Ivanka must immediately start casting spells aimed at the spot where they stood earlier. As soon as you arrive, you shout, Ivanka. Into the forest immediately. He shouted at the ghost so loudly, she had not even finished whining before the young man rudely kicked her in the back to teach her a lesson for being useless yet still so troublesome. With the enemy closing in, he had no choice but to unleash his skill and fury, pushing all his power stats to the max to stop the monsters. The shield just raised to block a few arrows when suddenly, a berserker launched a surprise attack from the side. Their movement is not fast, but because they are beasts, their speed can't be underestimated. The last soldier dodged a slash, then leaned back to avoid the arrow. So it turns out that monster was not just probing, it was attacking directly. As soon as you caught its trick, You instantly blinked, moving in a zigzag to sweep away anything in your path. But when one fights a whole gang, even the toughest bull has to take a hit. You were unlucky to get stomped on your back and pinned down by a beast. The fury was unleashed, and the beast took the chance to drive its blade deep. Red blood spilled everywhere. But luckily the master's quick reflexes just now were fast enough to carry both the beast and its owner to safety. The gang rushed in like starving wolves. Aaron could not hold back and wanted to help, but he was firmly stopped. A stands hidden in the crowd, shouting out, "Don't come here. I will hold them off and buy time. You and the others just focus on taking down the ones running towards you. You have been beaten to a pulp over here." Yet still no sign of any ghostly moves. Luckily, not long after, Jenna brought good news. He had no time left and immediately ran for his life, waiting until the monsters surrounded me. I sniffed the air once, then kicked one in the face to borrow its momentum and escape the danger. The moment he fell, the spell was cast. That sorceress kept me waiting forever. If those bombs had failed, he would hold a grudge for a lifetime. In a single moment, all focus was on those two words. And as they were spoken, a colossal pillar of fire erupted from the sorceress's position, blazing with terrifying speed and sweeping across the entire area. It did not stop immediately but kept sweeping everything in its flight path, leaving you and your two teammates stunned. Strong. Yep. But that is not everything. There are still many more. So he must brace himself to eliminate them all. Aaron and Jenna did not just stand by, they jumped right in to help. The battle rages fiercely, while Ivanka is still busy dancing with fire, unable to chant and move at the same time. Jenna, always the protector, suddenly saw the flames in Ivanka's hand and shouted the family name, urging everyone to run fast. She was about to unleash a wide area attack. The moment Ivanka opened her eyes was just before the fire ignited once more, but this time, it surged like a wave of fire erupting from the heart of the enemy ranks, swiftly engulfing everything around, culminating in a massive explosion that swept across a vast area. The air suddenly filled with flames everywhere. He grabbed his shield to block falling rocks, panic written all over his face. Luckily, you and Aaron made it in time on a battlefield where friend and foe are indistinguishable. We would all be dead already. Lung Kung sat up, thinking it was all over, only to find a few stubborn monsters still emerging from the smoky depths, heading straight for him. The ultimate move called destruction is unleashed. If Ivanka does not strike, fine. But every attack she makes targets a wide area. If it does not hit the enemy, it will surely hit her own side. A massive tornado suddenly appears, unleashing a devastating force true to its name. Jenna clings tightly to the massive tree trunk, desperate to avoid being swept away by the unlucky current. The orchard is nearly destroyed. The calmest soul watching it all unfold is none other than Ivanka. Wait until everything passes. Before me now is a giant, deep pit that still keeps flowing. In this stage, Ivanka carries the heart, but you also contribute a lot. So both of you get upgraded. Everyone has calmed down, but Aaron is still overwhelmed with panic. He asked with an utterly indifferent expression, wiping out over 20 knight commanders with a single strike. Is this magic? Ivanka was praised and felt even more delighted. But before she could say much more, her nose started bleeding and she fainted on the spot. 2,000 girls, disheartened, unable to use defensive magic, their strength, vitality, and agility all fall below average. This is probably the first time you have seen a mage who plays with such reckless abandon. Nothing like that salty Megumin from any series. In the future, you will definitely need to find someone who can truly support you. The next day, as soon as Master logged in, he immediately built 3 bases dedicated to his newly summoned mages. The magical research room, alchemy lab, and library have merged into a new magical castle. But because of her earlier performance that same day, Hang decided to start a muscle building plan for this little weakling. How could a high-level sorcerer like me have to endure such a brutal training? I am a professional who works with brains. After all, it is all just whining. But here everyone's the same. So Hang pulled out food to threaten them. If you want to use your brain, eat potatoes. Meat is for those who throw their bodies into the fight. Ignoring all complaints, you push ahead, determined to make her run the full lap to build endurance. Right now, they are very close to the 10th floor. Everything looks promising, especially with the cellars opened yesterday yielding plenty of essentials. As soon as Mater logged out, you and Izo rushed straight to the level 1 arena. You put a few life herbs into the jar, and as for refining it, there is no need to learn. You are already a master. The method of preparing the medicine is nothing special. Just keep the rhythm and be quick with your hands. The perfect combo appears, ready to blow up the scoreboard. With healing potions crafted and at the ready, spend some time buying potions. Now you have got 6 health potions and 2 mana potions in hand. Even if Mater finds out, it does not matter without medicine. Surviving the battlefield is nearly impossible. As dusk fell, and carried a basin of coal to the equipment room and called Jenna and Aaron over to discuss matters. Watch closely, because you only do this once, then just put your hand into that glowing coal basin. The smell of grilled meat rises strong, But those two look like they are about to turn green with fear. They did not know what happened to the boss, but later uncovered a terrifying truth. If Ivanka can control fire magic, we better get used to it. Then, enduring silently for the last 10 seconds, he quickly pulled his hand away. Because of the self-healing ability here, the arm that was just injured has now fully recovered and is cold again. Bad luck just explained that Ivanka is a fire mage. We have to fight alongside her. Or else without fire resistance training, we might get roasted before the enemy even shows up. You brought this so everyone can train, repeating it over and over until they can endure it. However, when Arn reached into the coal furnace, he quickly stopped him, saying they should find a place where no one is watching before doing it. You really do not want to see those sharp little tricks. That was just an example. Jenna, with a troubled look, laments that as a long-range support, she must learn it first. Just as he finished speaking, that guy grabbed his hand tightly and shoved it straight into the fire. Because Ivanka is one of the few who can't protect herself or move when off duty. Even a snail could catch her. So if they do not protect her, she is as good as dead. Not only did Tit feel this much pain himself, he even stabbed his own hand with a dagger as an example. Then told Arn to remember to practice this pain tolerance skill in his room. Now, getting to the main point, Hen demands Jenna to master switching between sword and bow. The melee and ranged squads will be disbanded from now on. You say you will form a triad formation with Ivanka at the center as the main damage dealer. This could be called the first battle to protect the princess. If you want to use the mage properly, early the next morning, the intense training regimen officially begins. You just assigned Ivanka a training task, and now you are dropping by Jenna's place. As always, you practice blocking arrows without ever using them. He has been through the fire many times before. Building resistance. Now, thanks to countless arrow volleys, he has gained the skill to counterattack. After firing a volley of arrows, Jenna immediately closed in, attacking him with a sword barrage. She followed the plan, switching between the two weapons, while he, no less fierce, leaned back to dodge, then swiftly ended the stunning move with a thrust aimed straight at the weak spot. It is their first time training like this, but in his mind, he can't suppress the thought. Even if she started as a star, she still has immense potential. My learning speed was exceptional. If I had not known this game, I would not have been able to surpass Jenna. Opposite the genius star Jenna stands the small number Saint Aran. Even with his rookie spear skills upgraded to level 3, that is as far as he goes. It has been a while since he showed up at practice. He probably still has not mastered fire resistance and pain tolerance. The next day, Eid's team returned from conquering the 9th floor, looking a bit battered, and rushes over to ask about someone. They seem to be struggling quite a bit. What is the challenge? It looks tired but replies that this mission is to conquer a village of about 50 original soldiers. What caught her attention was the ground, like a muddy swamp just after the rain. That is all there is. Nothing else worth noting. Time passes again, and everyone's life is mostly paused, focused on training and upgrading their armor and weapons, until one day, both squads were suddenly carried out to the square by Mater. Among them, only Han knew Mater had been logged in for 30 minutes without issuing any orders. At that moment, a prompt appeared asking if he wanted to conquer the 10th floor. With just one tap, their toughest day had arrived. Today, that kid really wants to conquer the 10th floor, even though his troops are nowhere near ready. The moment the space portal opened, a huge warning sign instantly slammed into view. Up there, it says to use the strategy room to devise plans for the heroes. But with Mater's cluelessness, he could easily guess that he had no idea how to use it. For safety, you told Iso to suggest Mater grab some items from the leather storage, so they could take them along. There are not enough people already. And if they block the medicine, how can we survive? You hold 6 healing and mana potions. Then divide them between the 2 teams before giving clear instructions to the medic. We may be taken to different areas. If that happens, regroup as quickly as possible. Just head towards the center, standing where you have the highest vantage point. The moment they teleported, they saw a man clutching his head, screaming strange words. He noticed the wide-eyed stare and swiftly kicked the man from behind. Yet the man did not see any of them present. He glanced around and realized these people were all NPCs, and the crowded city of refugees is the ruined city on the 5th floor they had seen before. The only difference is that here, the present has not yet fallen to the monsters. The moment Jenna realized the problem, she asked, "Isn't the timeline a bit strange? Everything was not supposed to be like this." And here, this is not the first time the timeline's been strange. What is the point in talking about it? You are saying that because the mission has not started yet. So for now, they need to gather information first. You give each person 15 minutes to scout as much as possible. Then come back here. Anyone late gets left behind while the team searches below. Hem pretends to be a ghost to scare those in the clock tower. From what you have observed, there are thousands of root ants in the northern forest, a few hundred in the east, and a river where you clashed back on the 7th level. Neither direction is targeting this place for now. But with just a few human soldiers here, no monster can stop the city from falling. As you step down, pondering the mission ahead. Survival like on the 5th floor means they might win, those NPCs will unwittingly become bait. At the same time, with Lady Ivanka the matchmaker here, the area attack power is much stronger. You return to the meeting point, ready to share the plan with everyone. Unexpectedly, the shared warning appeared 3 times, signaling this scene is extremely challenging. Not easy at all. New floors emerge, demanding defense and protection of the city from the threat of collapse. Damn it. So it was not about surviving, but defending, and silently calculated in his mind the moment everything became clear. You are right. There are currently 10 heroes, plus 359 soldiers, making a total of exactly 360 personnel, with thousands of enemies. It is truly the extreme difficulty level, no chance of survival compared to a normal battle. Your team members take turns sharing what they have gathered. In short, evacuees are gathering downtown, while the north and east gates are under attack. The other 2 sides are completely blocked. With this setup, no one here can get out. After you listen, clearly state the mission to everyone. Then emphasize that the statue of the 2 goddesses before the bell tower is the key. Once it falls, this stage will collapse too. That means all heroes will cease to exist, no matter where they are. Strategically, you direct Ed's team to move to the outer northern wall and assist with defense. Just sabotage or push the ladder they use to climb the wall, and it is done. Ed did not nod immediately, instead voicing his doubts. No matter how much we stall, there is no way we can eliminate them. You obviously know, but that does not mean there is no way. Hen reminds everyone about the big river on the 7th floor, and almost every layer below mentions that dam. Jenna suddenly snapped awake, clapped the powder, and said, I remember now, I heard it. The sound of horses' hooves from across the river. With just 1 sentence, Han and Ed grasped the problem instantly. He told the captain of the second team to use every method to buy as much time as possible until they returned. The person with a high spoke rapidly. She nodded in understanding, then said a few words before leading her team toward the direction mentioned in the plan. Over here. And finally explains to the 4 of them that the dam we encountered on the 7th floor has already been destroyed. If the horse hooves Jenna heard belonged to the reinforcements, then the city was destroyed because they could not arrive in time to save it. So their part is to go out through the east gate, cut through the goblin horde, and stop that dam from breaking loose. The battle begins. Jenna, the sharpest one, is ordered to climb the wall and scout the outside. Aaron may be weak, but he is strong enough to handle opening the city gates. As for Grandma's obsession with Ivanka, start chanting the mantra now, no need to wait until you meet her. The lone rookie soldier is just here to fill the ranks for now. At this level, 1 mistake means death. As Aaron got to work, the guards panicked, not seeing them and thinking the city gate was in trouble. They rushed to close it. Spiritual matters are not a joke. Unseen forces make them blame ghosts for obstructing the city's gates. The light from outside just slipped through the door crack as an arrow whistled by, while Ivanka stood frozen. You were the one who caught the arrow for her. An incredibly stunning catch, followed by an even more impressive throwback to where it came from. Coincidental rain falls, but is not nearly enough to extinguish this Lady Matchstick's ultimate Kamehameha. Suddenly Han shouted, don't burn the gate. Oh my. Let it explode outside the city walls. The person always claims to have a hayek, then follows the trail a bit further and causes a massive explosion in the sky. After that dazzling display brighter than fireworks, Ivanka had to sip some mana to keep going, looking back at the rookie struggling behind, and said bluntly, go find her. She will tell you what to do. If you survive this battle, I will personally train you. The enemy obeyed and immediately retreated, facing thousands of monsters on their first battle. Fear took over, retreating as the reward. Better to flee than be captured alive. As soon as they stepped outside, the gate slammed shut immediately. Light the fire. Darling, it is time to scout the forest. Hen will start directing immediately. Ivanka, only use the 1st floor storage. Weak firepower is fine. Just make sure it spreads as much as possible. In the 20-second countdown of the second arson wave, everyone surged forward, blocking arrows and fighting monsters to protect her. Everyone does their part, and when time runs out, they all wash aside at once for her to launch her move forward. Everything was just leveled flat, and then you soared straight up. Luckily, we got this catch in the team. Otherwise, we would all be crying like fools this time. They kept relentlessly breaking through the fire lines, charging straight into the dense Galpin troops, forcing even the Mongols to call for their ancestors in sheer numbers. In a distant land, the goblin commander of the Dot Nation watches the battle, gripping the mighty Traba sword, then suddenly raises it high with a thunderous roar. The troops below suddenly changed their fighting style, recklessly charging forward like suicidal bombers, ignoring even the flames, and unleashed a storm of sword strikes, swiftly sweeping away the monsters before him to hold the line. But now, his eyes fixed sharply on the special soldier standing in the distance. In his mind, he knew Ivanka's spell had a delay, so he controlled the monsters to attack recklessly, using brute force to overwhelm. Getting outplayed by a random noob in the game is seriously frustrating beyond words. This can't go on any longer. Their fire resistance only boosts heat tolerance. It does not make them immune to flames. As you strike down the monsters rushing at you, tell everyone to quickly regroup and plan a new strategy. The blaze continues. But this time it is not aimless, it targets a fixed point. A colossal pillar of fire erupts, blasting away numerous enemy commanders within its reach. However, what followed was the second magic layer called the U-Die, creating a massive explosion that reached the base of the commanding root beast. Jenna and Aaron did not stand idle. She swiftly shot a vengeful arrow right at the general's position, just as planned. As expected from a trusted sniper, every shot hits with precision, blood splattering everywhere. The original commander just got taken down, and Ivanka collapses, exhausted, and said no more, lifted her up, and waited with everyone to see what those monsters would do next without their leaders. Every tense minute felt like gasping for oxygen multiple times. Yet thankfully these stayed steadfast with one goal: to conquer, never giving up. Your team saw that the rushing to the dam. Exhausted and gasping for breath, they paused briefly to regain strength, preparing to face something far more terrifying than anything they would encountered before. Heavy footsteps pound the ground. Those street thugs have arrived, and this time, they have brought a level 23 Warhawk, fierce and battle-hardened at first glance. This beast is huge. No time left. Come up with a plan now. Ivanka, build a firewall and stop them. Aaron, protect Ivanka. Everyone's got their own worries. Your part is dealing with that big, sharp pig. The close combat begins as the hawk-like figure swoops down, smashing the ground into a deep crater, then fiercely sweeps across in a horizontal strike, aiming to knock him out but misses. Seeing the chance, Jenna swiftly fired several arrows at the monster. Seeing the bullet holes all over its shoulder, she initially felt thrilled, thinking this target was much easier to hit, until it strained to push everything away from its thick skin. It immediately withdrew its thoughts. Forget it. No more stabbing around this time. The 10th floor of the tower was no easy feat. Before the group could find the weak point of this beast, another equally massive monster suddenly appeared behind them. In a life or death situation, Han's head was spinning wildly, but as soon as he thought of a plan, he charged straight at the enemy. The frost tree slammed down hard on the shield. He gritted his teeth through the pain and struck back with a move called Farmer's Harvest, jabbing his sword straight into its groin. Dang it. That is really cruel. Brother, the monster let out a pitiful scream and wildly clawed at you again and again, and did not stop. He moved swiftly and leapt onto it in one swift motion. The first stab hit shallow in the monster's neck, so he asked to try again, using his jump to strike the center, then poured all his strength and the ancestor's power into smashing the shield against the sword. After 10 flawless moves, the mighty hawk was finally defeated. Overwhelmed by excruciating pain from head to toe, the struggle is not over yet. As you take down that monster, the other beast is charging wildly toward the dam. He is the mastermind behind everything falling apart. Jenna was the first to stop him, driving the dagger deep into his body. With a fierce slash from Han's position, he vowed not to give it a chance to touch their only lifeline. The bird cried out in pain, then lost its balance and plunged into the river below. Who would have thought? Right in the middle of the field, it suddenly floated up, breaking the bridge like a beast, before finally being swept away by the current. The only route for reinforcements was cut off, and faced a bleak future as 360 men fought against countless monsters, sinking into utter despair. Damn it. Just delete the game and burn down the studio that made it. No one's worth playing for anymore. Han turned back, telling everyone to return to the city and find another plan. But just as they were about to leave, Ivanka asked them to wait for her a moment. She said nothing, chanting a spell as she used her magic to lift a huge boulder and hurl it into the broken part of the bridge. Not only that, he said coolly, "Teacher, how could I not know? Shifting wrestling is one of the most basic spells and gets angry so easily." At first he clearly told her to reveal everything, yet she stubbornly hit a few spell words. The ambush dragged on endlessly. Before they could catch their breath, a swarm of root demons descended like a flood. As he fought, fearing no reinforcements would come, a root beast suddenly leapt toward Ivanka's position. No one had time to react, expecting the prim lady to fall. But instead, a stranger suddenly appeared, surrounding her completely. He rode a horse, clad head to toe in iron armor. Appearing so cool no one had time to react before he shouted, "Show your power." Master Tactician. Cross the river. At dawn, a mighty army crossed the shore on horseback all at once. They came like a storm, pushing back the enemy roots in an instant, then pressed straight toward the city without hesitation. If the engineers pull back, things will get easier. He looks toward those who blocked the way and asks his comrades if they know how to ride horses. We went to Matter to have him buy a beginner's horseback riding book for me. And so that guy had to grit his teeth and spend 500 game just to get a book for you. After mastering the new skill, Riding a horse became as effortless as slipping on a pair of sandals. The whole group immediately followed the cavalry, turning back together to counterattack the monsters. Suddenly, in the midst of the battlefield, Hen recalls a suggestion, urgently reins in his horse, and shouts, "Divide the troops. We will retreat from the battlefield." Aaron and Jenna, though clueless, still plunged headlong into the chase. The whole group moved back to the forest, where he suspected the goblin cavalry was setting up an ambush. Just as predicted, the moment they arrived, the fools immediately rushed out to block the way. Only then did he turn to the person behind him and ask, "Ivanka, do you still have any magic left? Instead of power, focus on that area. From now on, we will cross the northern forest. So use your strength to burn this place to the ground." A powerful surge of magic erupted the moment the incantation was spoken. Four stood before the firelit forest. Watching the crazed goblins scatter never had chaos felt so satisfying. After Ivanka unleashed her magic strike, she was completely drained of mana. The whole group quickly dusted themselves off and hurried back to the city. "We just managed to block the monsters' supply route. Otherwise, no amount of manpower could have held out much longer. The cavalry is fighting up front, proving far stronger than the defenders. Despite the odds, their skill overcomes the sheer force against them. Together, we fought off the goblins and kept the city safe." As everyone joyfully embraces each other for a job well done, an unexpected disaster strike. Instead of the completion notification, a red screen appeared, displaying a critical error that caused the entire system to disconnect. Everything around, except Han, stands still and falls into a negative state. Before he could even grasp what was happening, two mysterious figures appeared in the distance. The one you just saw can instantly turn curses into poetry. It is the boss with a bugged level 999. In the game Pick Me Up, Han once had a squad made up entirely of carefully selected 6-star members, and you are the only one to reach global rank 5 using a pure grind approach. This is a game built entirely on fierce skill and combat, where each hero fights their own way. However, what keeps him hooked on this pay-to-win game for the wealthy is the chance to outplay luck with skill. But ever since that dancer showed up, everything's been recorded on multiple screens and reported to the game developers. Where did a level 999 monster come from when the max level is only 99? Suddenly, the mysterious figure beside it, a level 15 warrior, spoke. "I will wait for you." Then just vanish into thin air like that. The surroundings instantly restored, and realized the problem and hurried up. Jenna quickly mounted the horse and galloped into the forest. It is not over yet. After that cursed prisoner sang, the assassin horde rose all at once, thousands strong, pushing everything to the brink once more, and told everyone to run into the city. But when it was his turn, he stopped. Despite everyone's desperate pleas, he insisted on fighting alone outside. "All right, I am Han the Mad Dog." Taking them all on alone, you charged alone into the demon spawn, targeting their weak spot, the head, with relentless sword strikes. But the main difficulty is that those brains still retain their original siege mentality, frantically pounding the fog into the two gates. Soon after, the city gates fell, and the demon horde surged in, turning everything to chaos. Jealousy is tough enough, but a system error is the ultimate combo to smash the machine. Han puts everything aside and spurs his horse toward the forest. The singing witch has disappeared nearby. To end this, all your job is to find and harvest the head of that troublemaker. You are stuck outside, so for now, all you can do is rely on your teammates inside the city. The statues of the two goddesses are what they are protecting. If they are destroyed, it is all over instantly. Han ventures alone deep into the forest, thick with the acrid smell of burning flesh. You stand before the first chapter and declare, "I know you are there. Come out now." In the sky, news of a fallen comrade and the wounded keeps coming through. A black column of gas with a sharp tip suddenly ambushes from behind. You immediately spun around, raising your shield to block, never expecting that thing could pierce right through your precious armor. But it did not stop there. Other clouds of gas from all over the meadow surged forward together. You immediately use your dodge skills to move and defend. But unfortunately, you still get hurt in a few spots. Just when everything was going downhill, the monk suddenly spoke up. "Hey Q, I want to talk to you," Han replied immediately. "Talking? All right. What is it?" Words are peaceful and conciliatory, but actions tell a very different story. You do not care what they say about you. You just thrust your sword fiercely toward the voice. He screamed in pain, and as soon as he confirmed the position, he activated his skill in rage, charging straight at the enemy with a dagger in hand. He was not dead yet, so he immediately launched an attack, blowing off his left arm in retaliation. But that pain now is nothing. You ignore your body being pierced like a hornet's nest, and still drive the knife deep into that bastard. The lice were so bad that you eagerly swept them away, leaving the guy dead before he could even gasp, and drags his broken body to a tree corner. Yet the completion notification still has not appeared. The unlucky rookie dragged into the battlefield just lost another woman. Thinking of those still fighting inside, he almost breaks down, and just when you thought you would fall first, Everything finally comes to an end. The entire revived army returned, rewarded with a small sum of money and a low-level fire attribute. Countless alerts reached Mater about a hero on the verge of a breakthrough. The most unique feature is that the waiting room's name will be changed to Respect, in the style of Telex's font glitch. Right. If you do not respect after that, then what kind of person are you? When Han opened his eyes, he found himself lying in bed. Sacrifices during the crossing had become routine. So everyone quickly calmed down and returned to normal. The next morning, you ask Chef Clo to prepare an extravagant breakfast to heal everyone's soul. Finally, joyfully running to the newly completed upgrade room to take this crucial step, the 3 stones of fire, water, and defense were embedded into the magic barrier. After a few seconds of waiting, the upgraded star stone was produced. Next, Han must head to the 2nd floor, the upgrade area, and place everything needed inside. Mater can't see what is appearing here. And of course, he is the only one who got a ticket for this experience. A magic circle appears, radiating a dazzling light that nearly blinds your dog. When everything has passed, a mother haunted by her child appears. This is not your memory, but the game character Han is Lads's. To save time, you usually skip the story and step outside to explore. Han's eyes landed on a simulation waiting room. Nearby the space portal was opening, and a tiny fairy like Iso flew over, signaling him to enter. Han thought everything was normal, until he stepped through the door and realized this was an upgraded dungeon with an extreme difficulty mode. It is, man. Your side's been bombarded with warning signals nonstop. My whole body feels suffocated under the pressure. All my stats plummeting by 30% for no clear reason. Just then, an unexpected figure loomed before him, and activated his skills in fury, but cautiously guarded against whatever it intended. Now, the level 999 monster slowly advances toward you, speaking as it moves. Humans are a special existence, and this place is a gift meant for them. For some reason, this girl looks just like Iso. If Iso grew up, she might look exactly like this. Clutching his head in confusion, asked, "What exactly are you?" She softly said she did not know how to introduce herself, but Han still held his sword firmly before her. Anyway, she was still a level 999 monster before, so I bluntly said I only knew her as a bastard. Her singing definitely does not do justice to her looks. She sat down, her face sincere, explaining it was just a silly trick. You think I am like Iso? It is not me who is like it is it that is like me. It is just a copy of me. According to her, this Iso is number 479 million. Does not that mean it is the same as the number of times this game has been downloaded? It is not like she has just 1 or 2 names. Each is used depending on the situation. Then she threw Han a business card and looked back at the words Chairman of Mobius Group like, "You want to pick a fight with me?" Han slammed his foot down in anger, his eyes sharp and fierce, ignoring the girl's accusation of rudeness. "Did you bring me to this place? That would be a valid case, would not it?" She feigned innocence, urging Han not to be so resentful, never expecting Han to be pulled back into this game. It is just an unexpected thing, or simply a guy from India. Han did not care about her situation. He coldly said if she did not take him back, he would deal with her. This girl is about to reveal her true form in anger. How dare Han, with only 1 star, threaten to kill her? Seems he has been dreaming too much. Then killing Han here would be the only answer. Then the magic beneath her feet transformed into a spear that pierced straight through Han. It hurt, but he did not show any weakness. She truly admires Han's strength. He did not even blink when the spear touched his heart. Truly courageous. Han does not want to beat around the bush. She just wants to know what the hell she really wants. He knows she had many chances to eliminate him in the game, but called him here, meaning she might have other intentions. It is nothing really. She just wanted to talk to Han, an unbeatable player. Loki, ranked 5th in the world. I truly admire them. I do not know how many games they have played that left me genuinely impressed every time I watched. Naheem is also a top surveillance target for the company. How can I see someone like you without feeling any concern at all? She told Han. What does he think about the storyline of this tower climbing game? But she asked without waiting for Han to answer, and went straight to explaining. Honestly, the storyline is one of the elements players do not really care about in this damn game. They always focus more on the content and gameplay. She also feels the storyline in this game is quite outdated. There is not much to learn about this world. After evolving even a little, most matter does not even know the world exists. She suddenly snapped her fingers, and the surroundings appeared. She asked Han if he knew where this place was, and coldly replies, "Who cares? Grandma." She probably felt a bit forgetful and hurriedly apologized. Maybe talked off topic a bit too much. She began to explain. This scene is set on the Tonia continent, in the Him Peninsula, city of Nels. Though it was the city they found on the 10th floor, it looked completely destroyed. Scenes unfold one by one. Silkia, Kaya, Adora, Bionia, Madian, Acadia, Lingia, Hansi, Arantia, Sinia, Bagdia. This is the current situation across all regions of Tonaya. All continents connected to Mobius have become like this, over 100 million worlds facing destruction all at once. She said this is a book whose ending has been decided, a sad ending, where everything comes to an end. All they need to do is simple. Pull someone from outside the book into it. They need to repair and rewrite the book. Even if the installation and editing end up in a complete mess, even when space collapses and shatters, a higher dimensional entity can alter the world, but only through observation. That is why this game was created. Mythology. Handel stepped out for a moment, lost in thought, then gave a faint smile. I wondered what grand story she might share with me. I want to know why you told me all of this. She was compromised, wanting Han to save the world with her, but having lost all patience for her nonsense. Loki struck a deadly blow right between her eyes, sending both the big and small Iso into a panic, even stabbed and in pain like she is about to log out. She still clings on, asking Loki to agree or refuse to cooperate with her. Han angrily says, "Get lost. You bastard. Dragging me into this world without permission. Making me endure everything. And now you want to cooperate. What the hell is she playing at? I won't cooperate with you. If you want to kill me, just try." She slowly approached Loki, the dagger on her forehead falling away, blaming him bitterly for his cruelty that deeply wounded her heart. With Han's 1-star level 10 power, he can't kill that bastard right now. If he wants to kill her, he must strive to become stronger, but still, clinging to the last straw. "I do not want to say much to you, just let me go back." She seemed sulky, saying, "Who dares hurt me? I used a lot of intervention to bring you into this place." She seems to cherish Han deeply, more than any other player. Even when a master strategist stands before him, they are but a flickering flame against the moon's might. That is because Loki set a unique record no player has ever achieved. She shows Han the phrase, "matter," urging him to trust the bond he shares with the heroes. And surely, you understand the meaning of this phrase. This is the notification after deleting the instructions. Among 100 million levels of matter, Loki stands alone. At this moment, she shows Han a door on the 80th floor of Nihilum, where he became a matter 6 months ago. Out of 100 million players, only Loki and 4 others can conquer this brutal and relentless challenge. Han also recalls how the 80th floor deeply disappointed him. He wonders why she showed him this. She invited him to sit down and watch the play together. Just sit. You will feel comfortable with it. Seeing it with my own eyes, not just on screen, is truly exhilarating. The scenery is magnificent. Being stuck on the 80th floor is the first true challenge. Nothing is revealed to the players. Pick Me Up features random jumps and difficulty based on ANs. But after reaching the 80th floor, every master faced a crushing defeat. Among them, only 5 managed to pass. The 80th floor is also known as the Wall of Tears. Han admits he was once like that, but now he knows how to overcome it. You want me to watch the video of me surpassing 80 floors of it is nothing. Just keep watching and you will see. At this moment, little Azo thoughtfully brings him a glass of orange juice. There is nothing better than being served while watching a movie. Han recalls, after reaching the 79th floor, he was confident he could conquer the 80th, and except for the main team, the support teams were all wiped out. He suffered a humiliating defeat, with most of his power drained. The environment on the 80th floor is so harsh that no life can survive. These strange, monstrous fragments are called shards. Fragments of chaos. Level 113 x 2755. Shards of Despair level 108 x 3164. Shards of Hatred level 121 x 2348. These shards make everything from the 80th floor up feel like hell. Izo is impressed. You seem knowledgeable. Can the difficulty of Pick Me Up be determined by the account? And the healing rate is also drastically different. Singing startled me. The reason I have never rolled a 5-star hero is not about luck or looks, it is simply that there are no more heroes left in Nihilum. Similar to difficulty, Nihilum is one of the few accounts rated S tier within the company. So how did Loki manage to climb up to the 88th floor? Is it curious? Loki was just calmly sipping his orange juice, but before he could finish, something caught his eye, and he accidentally knocked the glass over. In this battle on the 80th floor, these are the strongest warriors in Nihilum, ranked from 5 to 1. At this moment, countless shards of the monster surged toward them. However, just as the battle was about to begin, it was suddenly postponed. So it turns out Master Loki delayed to devise a strategy for his heroes. The system displays on screen. The strategy room effect has been activated. You can guide the hero by tapping and dragging. Loki always devises clever, flawless strategies, gathering as many artifacts as possible and striking the enemy's core. This is why the heroes always trust and believe Loki is the true master, and they are determined to ensure the plan never fails. Time freeze lasts only 10 seconds. Battles near. But first, each must introduce themselves. Have you guys watched Japanese superheroes yet? It is pretty much the same. Time ticks by in seconds, yet they leisurely introduce themselves. Nihako Gezvet, Spear King of Modern Nidal. Grydizan, Sword King. Ilnezit, Eye King, and Cirrus Argentum, Fire King, witnessing the battle unfold right before his eyes. Izo could not help but marvel. They are truly committed to loyalty. They are all 6-star heroes, considered the strongest on the server. But their true power lies not in their abilities, but in how they perceive their matter. Like heroes climbing towers and constantly evolving, they will begin to realize the truth. And soon, they will fall into despair when they realize someone sees them as a toy or a pet. Can they still remain loyal to the matter? Most are impossible. But Loki is different. He is the king of Nihheim. Just as the elder Iso said, Loki's style is uniquely fierce and unexpected. You are the only matter that does not use the synthesis chamber. Usually, matter uses the synthesis room to control the hero. When heroes disobey or fail, other forces often erase them without a trace, so they fled the waiting room in terror. Even lowly heroes can showcase their talents, but matter will use them as food for higher-ranked heroes. However, with Han, he never pulled a 5-star hero and only managed to get a 4-star once. Everyone calls it a dead account. Even when everyone told him to delete that account, he kept playing. I am already used to that absurdity. Most masters treat heroes like toys, using them until bored, then discarding them like disposable items. But Han is different. He always values those with potential. Even if their level is low, he never abandons them. If you rule the waiting room with fear, it will soon collapse. Reward them when they prove their worth. Punish them when they fail. That is Master Loki's principle. At this moment, Izo wonders how he could possibly know the truth that the heroes are actually human, because if Loki did not know, he could not have played this game like this. He did not answer the question, but in his mind, he was already thinking about it. Heroes so real. It is hard to believe they are just characters created by a program. They respond differently to commands, and their actions are never the same. But it all stopped at disbelief, and never thought they were human. Everything Izo asked made and realized that she and the company really liked his style. She had longed to speak with Han at least once, but shame held her back while he was still on Earth. Unfortunately, she has now gathered evidence against Han, because if he met her on Earth, he might have buried her 8 feet under. Nothing happens. Han promises he will never forget this. Tanya or Nihheim have nothing to do with me. I am from Earth, so do not impose your situation on others. Facing Han's anger, she just smiled and said, the heroes of Nihheim would fall if they heard you say that. On the surface, he seemed indifferent, but he still wondered if she just wanted him to climb the tower. Why call him here? Nifam's team was launching an aggressive attack. The entire team actually took no damage until the 88th floor. And the demon wall where the top-ranked player is located, the 90th floor, is almost in our hands. But while your team was handling those matters, you were dragged here instead. Said to why? Big shot. I won't cooperate with you. You better disappear before I lose my patience. The master could not persuade Han to cooperate. She was a bit disappointed, then admitted she was behind the singing monk's appearance on the 10th floor, but she also assures that from the 15th floor onward, she will no longer intervene. But do not be too quick to celebrate. She continued, even if I do nothing, your Naya will greet you with a shock as intense as the sssrank difficulty in Nihheim. She explained that no matter how well Han performs, the chance that the amateur owning the account with him will give up is very high, probably 90%. But if there is intervention, everything will change. If Han can climb to the top of the tower, she will send you back. And she promised to transfer half of her Mobius Corporation shares to Han, making him a major shareholder in a conglomerate capable of reshaping the global economic landscape. Yet Han still could not trust this woman, and once again, she took a knife straight to the forehead from Han. I believe in my own strength. The higher I climb the tower, the more truths I will uncover. I do not need to rely on trash like her. I will return by my own power. As for the big Izzo, even after being stabbed a second time, he still chuckles and says he will forgive your insolence, but if you start climbing the tower, he will show you what he has got. At the same moment, a gate slowly appeared and opened. This was the true introduction of Pick Me Up, prepared just for Han, the land where humans and demi-humans coexist. The continent of Tarnir. On this continent, overflowing with peace and prosperity, an unknown enemy has begun its invasion. The continent was engulfed by the power of darkness, ultimately torn apart into fragments. Han's mission is to turn around a battle already destined for defeat. Images and words of encouragement. The heroes trust in Han. Many heroes will join him on this journey to turn the tide, to save the world. They must climb the tower. With the big Izo's taunts, can you truly climb to the tower's peak? A feat no one has ever achieved. We will carry you there, and replied with a sharp go ahead. Then step through the gate as the system announced. Exit granted. Congratulations. Matter confirmed. Awaken the forgotten memories of the hero, completing Han's upgrade. Now he is a 2-star hero, with graphics being upgraded. When I came back, Aaron was waiting outside, wondering what I was doing in there all alone, and simply replied, upgrade. Han is once again determined to climb the tower, return to Earth, and repay the debt to the woman who made him endure all this. The next day, the system suddenly reported an error, accompanied by an apology to all matters for the unannounced shutdown that occurred a few days ago. And to make up for the mistake, all matters will receive a special compensation, 550,000, and increased hero affinity points for a limited time. All daily dungeon objectives will be unlocked for 3 days with no time restrictions. Izo, the fireworks seller, congratulates player Loki on his upgrade, but the timing seems off, making his expression sore. He said he met the real Izo and also learned that little Izu is the CEO of Mobius Corporation, but now he does not care. The important thing is to climb the tower. He just wants Izu to help him. Izu now takes out a golden ticket worth 10,000 Vend and hands it to him, saying, "With this card, you can get anything you want." Sounds tempting, does not it? A gift is something you can send to a hero when they do something you love or achieve something great. Usually, gift tokens are gold-denominated tickets, but premium tokens can also be purchased with game currency or high-level materials. Hen refused to accept it and handed it back to Izo, telling her to give it to someone else. Izu was shocked and enraged. Who dares to ignore what can help them get anything? Even money can't buy that, but Hen said not everything can be bought. 10,000 Vend can't get you any decent item in the shop. Stop following me. I am going to sleep now. Izu was panicking when the card transformed into a chess knight. It turned out Matter thought he did not like money, so he replaced it with this wooden statue as a gift, but the statue was immediately sent back to the bushes by him. Hen thought if we bought one, everyone should get one. If he only gifts one hero, the others will grow resentful. In your opinion, Matter should learn and remember each hero's personality and preferences instead of giving gifts randomly. In the days that followed, Han and his team pressed on with their mission. However, it is clear that most are visibly frustrated and upset by Matter's orders. As the fabric of space and time begins to unravel, Han shook his head in frustration, thinking his biggest enemy was actually the Matter itself. They say you do not fear a strong enemy, only a foolish teammate. The heroes complained about the repetitive training schedule and poor experience on floor 10. Pushing Von K to the brink of stress. They blamed Matter for not properly caring for their heroes. Thought the mission was just to conquer the 8th or 9th floor. But Matter demands we conquer all the way to the 11th. Those two angrily said, "Does this Matter guy think he is so great?" And right now, Matter is deluded, believing he is too skilled. Although Matter puts all the responsibility on hero strategies, he still believes overcoming challenges comes down to personal skill. Usually, Matter has to rearrange his heroes on the lower floors first. Rushing straight to floor 11 proves this guy just finished his run and worries if he can make it to the 100th floor with such a reckless guy. Though it is unpleasant, when duty calls, we must be ready to fight. The mission on the 11th floor. Neutralize and eliminate all enemies. On the 11th floor, Han's team faces 14 level 11 core soldiers. The team swiftly takes their positions. These skeleton soldiers are tough to spot, but nothing compared to Han's team. After a while, they will crumble like mist, though mist does not have flesh to crumble. At the top, and evaluates Choi's Pick-Me Cup game, where the early levels difficulty relies entirely on luck, earning it the name Game Shark. If you play the hero, you will overcome it easily. If not, then the opposite. Han's Master Tierwadoff played excellently. Following the strategy previously used by the Loki player, he diligently develops infrastructure, trains heroes, and crafts items. But by the 5th floor, he started to take direct control, completing the mission thanks to Han. Otherwise, it would have failed. He thinks he is a pro. Skipping hero training and sending them straight level 10 looks like Han's gonna have to carry the weight. After completing the challenge, with Han obviously carrying the team, he leveled up to 11. Experience 24x110, Strength 27x27, Intellect 10x10, Vitality 25x24, Agility 25x25, Sword and Shield Mastery level 6, Ballistic Defense level 1, Fire Resistance level 2, and more. And the clouds, drifting endlessly. That night, and had an intimate talk with manager Izo, though it felt more like an interrogation, and wants to ask Izo a few things. From the start, Izo only wanted to answer what he could, but Hen must have manipulated his mind, so he spilled everything all at once. The first sentence is the name of the main entity. The girl who is the chairman of the corporation looks exactly like Izo. It was later revealed that she had many names, each world calling her by a different one. For example, in this new era, she is known as Telly. If she truly has 100 million names, then there must be 100 million worlds. Han's territory count is named Nihime. Rank 4 is Raklanzid. Rank 3 is Ezekiel. And it is still climbing. Next, Han asks about the universe created by Mobius, a spiral-shaped universe connected to thousands of parallel worlds. This answer helps Han better understand the game. Each account has different missions, and no hero is duplicated among players. The next question is Master Wadoff human? And has he been influenced by Telly? Izo suddenly panicked and vanished without a trace. She said she would check the information, But who knows if she went to report to the boss. Not long after, Ada returned and firmly confirmed that Wadov is 100% human, as verified by another manager, and heard that and agreed silently, saying nothing more. But if Wadov were just an ordinary person, unaffected by anyone, then he truly suffers from a superiority complex. And if left unchecked, it will cause problems down the line. Still, Wadov is only at level 1 of proof of supremacy. So there are ways to resolve this, and the most effective way is to eliminate the hero Master relies on the most. And Islat. Not long after, Master logged into the game again. Everyone wondered what the mission this time would be if it was to conquer floor 12. It was truly too soon. Just as expected, the ISO fairy announced the mission to conquer the 12th floor, and the Master planned to clear 2 floors in 1 day. But this time, Hen refuses to go, believing a hero can demand and defy the Master, even disobey orders when needed. Everyone wonders if this is really allowed or not. Orders supposed to be mandatory. Didn't others get dragged in even when they screamed they did not want to, and explains they can refuse, but only he knows the consequences. Izo heard that and broke out in a cold sweat, fearing Master would turn him into synthesis material. But Hen still firmly refuses to join this mission. Jenna thought he would leave the team to fight alone, but Hen lets everyone decide whether to follow him or not. Aaron decides to follow Han and refuse the mission. Jenna and Ivanka, though a bit scared, also refuse after all. What can 2 girls really do against this? The entire group refused the Master's orders. Will the Master heed their plea or punish the hero behind this? Master would never imagine a hero refusing to obey his orders. Yet he summoned Group 2, Edis, Rurik, User, and Jika. The 4 of them looked surprised to see Group 1 still here, thinking they had already gone on their mission. After learning that Han's team refused the order, Edis only felt it was too dangerous. If Han does not prove his worth to the Master, he will die. But if Master tells me to kill myself, am I supposed to do it? No hero is truly loyal. They all fight simply because they refuse to die. Though Han lectured them at length, the Edis group chose to press on, obeying orders to seal the deal and become stronger together. But soon after, the system kept issuing warnings as the danger and fear levels of the Edis team members showed that the 12th floor was far more challenging than the 11th. Though they managed to escape, Jika and User were gravely wounded after the battle. As soon as Edis stepped out, he asked Han how one could refuse the Master's orders. Just like that, Group 2 also refused to join, and Isel broke out in a cold sweat once again. Both main groups are down. Master can't enter the main dungeons, weekly dungeons, or exploration dungeons, and even the lobby is paralyzed. What will Master do next? And reminds everyone to keep training. All dungeons will open for 3 consecutive days, so Group 2 will enter the dungeon to restock supplies, and Jenna and Aaron need to level up. Isel still fears, whispering, "What if Master absorbs me completely?" Hen replied with indifference, "I would rather die peacefully than from exhaustion." Isel clutched his head in despair. Speechless, they split into 2 groups, entering separate dungeons, and ended up obtaining a basic elemental firestone. Of course, they never forgot to train. Han's swordsmanship and shield skills reached level 6. But he needed special training to level up further. Besides that, he also assigned Ivanka the task of practicing control magic, as she only believed in one type of spell. Days passed, yet Master stayed silent, refusing to log in. Isel was crying, thinking Master had quit, when a login notification from Wadov appeared, filling her with joy. But Hen thinks Master won't easily compromise, because that ego of being the best is truly hard to cure. He will surely use all the game points along with the rewards to change the attacking team. Just as Han thought, the Master has now summoned 3 3-star heroes worth 1,500 game points, one after another. Margil, your touch? Seeing this, Eddies wanted to split the team, but Hen said they would not join anyone's team. The 3 newcomers already seemed to have no love lost between them. Margil mocks the old man for smelling awful, and the old man angrily tells her not to be so damn lazy. The 2 of them kept showing hostility towards each other. Only the rookie stayed calm and ran to seek Han's help, but no one would listen to his warnings. Those 2 were arguing, then suddenly started cursing his name and family. Unbelievable. Just hearing you insult my family made me furious. And in the end, all 3 of us ended up fighting while the newcomers teach each other manners. Isso, the small-mouthed loudmouth, has appeared like a storm. Being new, Isso had to start the introduction all over again, making sure to emphasize every point. We are stronger than all of you. Do not do anything stupid, or I will punch each of you out. This time I will let it go, but next time there'll be nothing left. Then she ordered the trio to conquer the 13th floor as per Matthew's directive, while Han simply went to sleep, knowing they would never return. Just as expected, the moment I lay down, I got a notification that they were stabbing each other. So and Maisel have returned to the goddess's embrace. In other words, they are dead. The trio is gone, and the mission has failed. Little Matu, furious, logged out of the game. Isso, seeing this, went to Han and cried. She is afraid that if Matu does not log in for 5 months, his account will be automatically deleted, however, and says that in game time. There is still a year and a half left. So no need to worry too much, everything will fall into place. Iso cried louder and louder, fearing she would disappear forever, until Han said that if Madu intended to quit, he would have stopped when he mistakenly combined a 4-star character. And only then did she stop eating. But Han suddenly remembered something. If everything happens as Iso said, Naheem won't have much time left the next day. Even after leaving, Madu still logged in and bought the triple golden package, reviving 3 more 3-star heroes. Noken, Wyvern, and Jellin. These 3 do not seem like the 3 idiots from yesterday, still clueless, but sleepwalking fools, causing trouble the moment they show up. Han felt these guys needed a lesson, so he handed them over to Eddie's. Noken Vung Kim tried to ambush Han, but before he could act, Han and Eddie's taught him a harsh lesson, then took down the others one by one. Immediately after, the system announced Madu had formed a 5-member team, combining the 3 3-star heroes from before with 2 other 1-star heroes into Group 3. The Timeless Water Realm unfolds. Their mission this time is to conquer the 12th floor. These 3 have no enmity between them, despite one being seriously injured. They passed the test without losing a single life. A few days later, the 3 stars began to run wild, bullying the weaker ones. However, when Han appeared, those bullies were so scared they nearly pissed their pants. Han did not even have to do anything to become their nightmare. Some time later, even without a mage, the group's class balance was surprisingly solid. Group 3 grows stronger, and no one has to die. What if Sensa's plan unfolds with the coming of spring? These 3 have started to realize Mater is favoring them, and are now planning to rally the others. While discussing the plan, Han walks in, turning Noken's face purple. Oh my, that scared me. Let us call it a night. Everyone, in the days that followed, despite some hesitation, the trio still conquered floors 13 and 14. No one in Group 3 reached above level 10. Yet what if still forced them to continue? Han knows if Group 3 reaches the 15th floor, Groups 1 and 2 will be combined. Ivanka agreed, saying, "Is not this the moment you should do something?" And said if you want, everyone has the right to switch groups. Otherwise just wait for the opportunity to come. And asked if Ivanka had mastered magic, and she immediately demonstrated it for him. Ivanka has clearly mastered basic magic, casting spells much faster now, but her stamina is probably still like a clay pot. As for Group 3, they sensed Mater's affection and began to act more arrogantly, demanding larger rations, taking others' spots, and much more. If they succeed in completing the 15th floor, they will become even more violent. The next morning, all groups gathered at the square as usual. Group 3 was assigned to conquer the 15th floor, each member given a low-grade health potion. Before leaving, they even sneered at Han. "That bastard. When I return, I will tell Mater to punish you, better get ready." And warned everyone, if Team 3 succeeds, they must stop opposing Mater, or else everyone will die. Because the colors are subtle, they complete the 15th floor low. But it is not nothing. The outcome of the battle on the 15th floor was truly a close call. While the 3-person team of 5 carries out their mission, everyone outside anxiously awaits the outcome. 5 minutes have passed with no alerts, making Han uneasy. It means they have not faced danger yet. However, immediately after, a notification popped up, catching him slightly off guard. The mission failed, and all 5 of them have returned to the motherland. Only 5 minutes in and already taken down. There is definitely something terrifying inside. The 15th floor must be a special mission. At that moment, an earthquake shook the elite realm of Tannaya, caused by Mater throwing his phone and logging out as soon as the mission failed. Losing a game and smashing your phone, many gamers have been there, so it is understandable. Since then, Wadif has not logged in for a long time, and the one most worried is Iso. She weeps again, fearing this beautiful body will vanish if this continues. Han's group keeps working hard, eating and training, but those 1-star guys just eat and talk, doing nothing. After 10 days. With Mater and the assembly gone, there is nothing left to fear. She was crying when suddenly a beam of light appeared, but Mater just pointed, took a screenshot, and then logged out. This login was only to capture a commemorative screenshot, and now has a plan. And this time he needs Iso's help to carry it out. It is known that Iso can access the internet, but tampering with information from other dimensions will incur punishment. She needs to rely on the data Mater left behind. Just watching takes over an hour, but writing topics or sending messages shortens the time significantly, and told Iso to give him direct internet access. She was a bit confused, but there was no other way, as Loki was advancing to fairy level power. Then, a high-tech machine resembling a cow appeared right before Han. This time, he planned to access the Pick Makeup forum and search for Mater Watu's plea for help. In short, Watu wants to ask everyone he has been playing for a month. Started off fine, but then got stuck and can't pass the level. Not sure where he went wrong. Right now, my waiting room is full of 1-star noobs, while all the 3 4-star heroes are gone, accompanied by a photo of a dozen screens totally real. 2,000 characters. Mater uploaded boast a bit about his handsomeness, But scrolling through the comments reveals only jabs at his cleverness, though it is clever, in Mater's own twisted way. Some say whoever carries him must lift heavy weights. Others say they do not get his style at all seriously. Are you trying to blind me? But just reading the comments. If it goes on any longer, Izo won't hold up. So Han has to act quickly. He sent his article on cloud data to Waterf, hoping to support Waterf gameplay and inspire a change in Mater's strategy. His post was successfully sent under the name Loki, sparking a frenzy of reactions and non-stop comments from the crowd. But right then, Izo suddenly shut down like a soulless machine. When she asked Han what took him so long, she learned he was sending Waterf instructions on how to play. Hearing this, Izo snapped to attention. Rumored to hold attack solutions beyond what the community has perfected. The walkthrough solutions, penned by Loki himself, are the book that holds everything about big makeup. Exactly. This is the record of Loki's gameplay and research over 2 years. The key is whether Waterf reads it. If he does and can solve it himself, things will get interesting. The next day, true to everyone's expectations, Waterf logged back in. This time bringing Han the warhorse as a gift, but this time, Han did not throw it away. He took it willingly, so it turns out that before sending the documents, Han had modified it slightly. Mater must gift the hero he likes a warhorse statue at least twice, so it proves that Waterf has read all the documents and shown his determination. Han and the two groups have also ended the ceasefire and are ready to act. The next morning, Han was in his room putting on his uniform, ready for the mission. When Izo appeared early to talk to him, she asks Han if Mater can change for the better. Han is sure and wants to know if there is still a chance to use the internet. This depends on how fast you gather intervention points. The intervention point is what Mobius uses to disrupt causality and the laws of nature. Intervention points are compiled as Mater logs in, operates, and swiftly moves through the levels. Additionally, the intervention point can take the form of a gemstone known as the game, just like real-world cash. Izo said if Han brings cash to the landlord, he will get an extra 1% bonus. Han did not really care. Just stepped outside. The morning conversation was over. The others are waiting for you outside. It is the group's first outing in a long time. They seem to have rested too long, and asks everyone, don't you feel itchy all over? However, Aaron said that even if Mater changes his mind, Han's team only has 4 members, still missing 1. At this moment, Mater summoned Eddie to join the temporary squad until they passed level 15, but this time, the whole team was moved to the 8th floor for formation inspection. Here come the level 9 cavalry and infantry. Times 27. These are way too easy for Han's team. Ivanka has now reached VIP Pro level. She used to need 40 seconds to cast the spell, but now she can incinerate everything in just 10 seconds. Jenna can now strike much faster, and her defense has become very strong too. Everyone on the damp battlefield quickly passed the stage. This floor's mission is mainly for the team to assess their own progress. Only one person stood there, frozen like stone. Eddie. She wondered aloud, then called me over, asking, what the hell are you doing here? Are you trying to show off to me? And said nothing. But he thought to himself, Eddie may not have fit in yet, but she is smart. She will find her place soon enough. The team swiftly overcame the challenge and claimed the reward. This time, Ivanka bore the burden, having wielded magic with far greater skill, and gave her no rest, already plotting against her. Then he just pulled Ivanka to the Hall of Magic and told her to relax, saying she would not have to do anything. Believe it? No way. You are just messing with me. Han just wants Ivanka to conduct the research process here. Ivanka had not even figured out what to do when suddenly Izo appeared, startling the ferret. Izo said, Ivanka, get used to it. This has always been your style from the start. Then Izo pointed to the table over there and instructed Ivanka to just solve the problems and put them in the box. Just glancing at these research papers, Izo realized these were things she had learned at the Academy of Magic, but it seems she does not want to do it. Yet because Izo insists, if she does not, Matter will teach her a lesson. So she reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Han struggles to read a book but can't make out a single word, while Ivanka is buried in a mountain of research papers. Each research takes so long, yet we have only gained 1 research point. The system notifies that the current research speed will consume 10 games per hour. Han feels this pace is not right, but he knows Ivanka lacks any research skills. Just like Han thought, Matter also felt something was off and set a 3-hour daily research limit. But Ivanka's expression clearly showed her frustration. Everyone has their own life. Why do you complain as if you are selling yourself to the capitalists? The key is to make capital work. But here, there is absolutely nothing. Seeing this, Han immediately thought of a way to lift Ivanka's spirits. He asked Matter to gift her a fur-lined coat, though the price is a bit steep. As long as she likes it, that is what matters after all. It is his love, not yours. So do not worry. Seeing her favorite shirt, Ivanka flipped her mood like flipping a pancake from frustration to joy in an instant. Her lips kept blaming Han for buying her gifts, but her hands clung tightly to the shirt, agreeing to continue. In the days that followed, Matter kept changing everything, leading the members to the underground vaults each week to gather materials, crafting weapons at the armory, and forming a third squad made up of fresh recruits. All of this shows he read and followed Loki's instructions seriously. Right now, in the lab, Ivanka is trying to persuade Han to join her research. I can only use fire magic. I have knowledge in other areas too. I think you are quite talented. Are you interested in learning magic? Of course. With so many magic books here in Han's intelligence, this is definitely possible. And also pondered. With a 2-star character, his profession was merely beginner level. However, from 3 stars onward, you can choose a profession. And if you meet the requirements, you can become a mage swordsman. But then he refused Ivanka's offer, knowing that first, a hidden profession does not mean it is strong. And second, Ivanka did not want to study alone, so she invited him to join, rejected by Han. Ivanka reluctantly continues on her own, while bored and chatting aimlessly. Suddenly a lightning bolt strikes straight down from the sky, startling them both, perhaps a sign that something is about to happen. System notification. Heroic reaction has reached level 1. The goddess blessed the lobby, causing the phenomenon you just saw. Perhaps this is the result of Ivanka's many hours of tireless research. Waterflock has now chosen to unlock the hero reaction research, and tells Ivanka to try saying the index window. As soon as she finishes speaking, an information panel appears before her. She reads it and looks a bit surprised. Han explains that this is her ability represented in numbers. The reason the previous Team 3 died, because they did not know the exact mission, nor the conditions to clear that floor, as they could not see this system. Researching hero reactions to create a system that lets heroes view their own status information. Thanks to that, Ivanka could see all the stats. Strength, intelligence, speed, skills, and more. Then Han immediately wanted to inform the other members about this, but as he stepped outside, the scene that struck Han's eyes was Aaron running away from what he believed to be a ghost, and hurriedly explained, "It is not a ghost. You fool. I am keeping Aaron safe from that magic invading him." As for Jenna, it was completely different. She immediately recognized and followed the system Han just mentioned back then, and taught the whole team, explaining everything about the new system step by step, so everyone understood that as they leveled up, everything would change. At this moment, Ivanka bombards Han with 100,000 questions. How? Where? And how does he know this? Han just replied that he found out by chance. Ivanka's expression says too spicy to handle. But hey, everyone has their secrets. And Han's advice always hits home because he is the most experienced. And Han's plan was to reveal the whole truth, only if everyone survived until the end, of course. That would probably be the moment to say goodbye. The next day, Jenna shared this information with everyone in the waiting area. But perhaps due to the low research level, only some data was displayed, and not everyone could see their own stats. At the training ground, as usual, sought out Jenna to train, but this time, the intensity had to be ramped up. No holding back in their fight. From now on, real weapons will be used, and the training goal is to beat the opponent nearly to death. Soen kept betraying the group, catching Jenna off guard now that it has come to this. She is going all in. He trains until exhausted, while a few other figures stand outside, arms crossed, watching. They say Han was once a farmer, but that is hard to believe, probably just talk. Because how could a farmer reach this level? Inside the match, tension runs high. Aaron waits eagerly outside to train with Han, but Jenna refuses to give up easily. Suddenly, in a fleeting moment, Jenna sent Han to the ancestors with a short sword. Turns out she learned to detect it, weaknesses, the instant she heard him speak, and never expected that skill was something she just came up with from my suggestion. Truly an intriguing girl. I think this time, it will take a lot more effort to face her. However, Jenna suddenly leveled up another skill and kept attacking, making Han think he was about to lose. Outside, everyone regarded Jenna as equally astonishing as Han. But someone even more worried was Aaron. He realized this was truly a battle between two geniuses, and can only rely on his skills to listen for Jenna's arrows, unable to close the distance. And though he has a shield, he chooses not to use it. What you need to do is train to acquire new skills, and sharpens his focus, anticipates the arrow's path, and swiftly counters. He quickly gains a new skill and levels up 2 others. Jenna finally lost. This is the 19th time I have beaten her. Now, let us settle who the real monster is here. After training, the 3 reviewed their stats, naturally, and had the most skills, followed by Jenna, while Aaron still had the fewest. Seeing Aaron's disappointment, and quickly offers comfort. Having many skills does not mean you are strong. It also depends on your level. An unsuitable skill can be more of a disadvantage than an advantage. Hand strength and calmness are an example, but that is a special case. In the days that followed, everyone gathered enough basic attribute stones, quickly combining them to create the basic advancement stone. And this time, Jenna would be the one upgraded. She reached level 10 faster than anyone except Han. Han is level 12. Ivanka is level 8. And Aaron is level 9. Jenna anxiously asks Han, "Am I going to die?" and did not respond. But he was deep in thought. His upgrade was a special case because Tilly had interfered. While Jenna would only see a different side of him quickly, Jenna upgraded to a 2-star hero. But her expression as she stepped out looked uneasy. Only after asking did I learn she had a strange dream about the forest she once lived in, engulfed in flames. Hen said it was just a foolish dream and told her to forget it. What he cares about is if there is anything else unusual. Jenna just feels the weight on her shoulders lighten a bit and now realizes that the process of awakening the forgotten past has caused all the heroes to lose their memories, so when they reach 4 or 5 stars, they will realize the truth, how they got back here, and what happened to their world. Not long after, Aaron was promoted to a 2-star hero. I do not know what you saw in those memories, but after that, you went mad, pushing yourself harder than ever. Yet, the one who trains the hardest is always Hen Islat, the last to leave the training ground. Though stronger now, he still can't focus his power where he wants. If you activate Frenzy, you will grow stronger but your skills will falter, and you will lose your temper more easily. If we could combine both, it would be perfect, but that is probably impossible. At this moment, Eddie stands by his side, asking how he is and whether he has ever killed anyone before, and replied coldly, "My team has already reached the 12th floor. Are you questioning our determination? I live because others gave their lives for me, 3 souls merged into one. Now, do you have your answer?" That is right. Hen once killed a band of mercenaries. To him, anything that appears in the fog is a monster, and all that matters is to kill it, but his teammates are different. The next day, the team continued their training as usual, this time assigned to conquer and eliminate enemies on the 12th floor. Jenna, eager to find the enemy, suddenly hears a loud voice, stops, lowers her weapon, and reveals her identity. The whole team was surprised, but only Eddie's knew the tough challenge that lay ahead. That is also why she asked Hen those questions yesterday. Just as expected, Hen's teammates did not want to fight this enemy, believing it was human, not a monster. They all wanted to talk and resolve things peacefully. The whole team just stood there blank-faced as Han urged them to grab their weapons and fight. But in the end, they sighed and said, "Do whatever you want." At this moment, Aaron steps forward, attempting to negotiate with the soldiers, as one of them calls out, telling him to drop his weapon and come closer to talk. Just hearing it smells like a scam. But Aaron's too trusting, he does whatever people say, and sees this and has to swear. "Are you stupid or what? Why follow what they say?" Hen demands they lay down their weapons and come here if they want to talk. After a long argument, and finally won, the soldiers, after some thought, agreed to lay down their arms but insisted on going in a group of 3. Seeing this, Han's team also laid down their weapons to discuss peace. But only Han knows that everything is a lie. Cooperation never lasts. And when they get close, their true faces are revealed. A voice always echoes in my mind, even when I cover my ears, telling me to kill them all. As soon as he finished speaking, the soldiers turned dark and charged at Han's team. Of course, Han was not surprised, having anticipated this back when he was a matter. Hesitant heroes attacking will be destroyed, no matter who they face or how they look. Their only goal is to kill or be killed. After the fight, Han turned to Aaron and asked, "Do you still want to talk now?" Of course. The answer is to fight. Soon after, Jenna and Ivanka resolved to battle too, whether monster or man. Any enemy must be destroyed. Only now does Eddie realize his worries from yesterday were all for nothing. The key to this team's strength is not talent or power, but spirit. The real monsters are those who do whatever it takes to survive. Very quickly, the whole team charged and fought a skirmish with the remaining soldiers. Eddie's kept warning that these guys were not normal, but once Han's team went into battle, the outcome was clear. One by one, they were swiftly eliminated. Their armor is strong, but they do not attack in formation or order. Some survivors still have the presence of mind to beg Han, "Forgive me. I have a wife and daughter at home, I must return to them." But there was no way around it, they had no way back. And Han's team still had to complete the mission, with Han finishing off the last enemy with a single punch. These soldiers have been brainwashed. Eddie's has encountered a few before, but never this many at once. They are just like the ones she faced in the battle on the 12th floor, and looked at the blood on the ground. It was black and thick, just like Tilly's. But there was still too little evidence to draw any conclusions. Then the whole team was quickly taken back to the lobby, and before leaving, Han reminded everyone to get used to this, whether monster or human. There is no difference at all. As predicted, floors 13 and 14 also house humanoid monsters, similar to floor 12 but with slight differences in gear and formation. They are all enemies of the heroes, which works in Han's favor, letting the team cut through them without hesitation. But fighting humanoid monsters was more intense than fighting regular ones. Wadov noticed this and did not make Team Han fight in the following days. A few days later, Han's team leveled up enough to challenge the 15th floor. Currently, Han is level 15. Jaina and Aaron are level 13. But Ivanka and Eddie's at level 11 face a slight disadvantage since their high rank slows their experience gain compared to the others. Meanwhile, the equipment shop has reopened, so everyone can carry more items thanks to the cloth bags. Finally, it is time to fight on the 15th floor. This mission is to climb the tower and save the world, and did not know the exact mission. But it was definitely not a conquest like on the 10th floor. I told everyone to proceed as usual, but do not rely on me too much. Looking at Han's stats, his total score is 107, matching that of a 3-star hero, so he is very confident in his abilities. As for Matter, he seems much smarter after reading Loki's journal. He even knows how to use the recording feature to review when ascending to higher levels. Now turns to his team, saying, "There are 2 issues I am concerned about in this mission. This is a special mission. Like the statue on the 10th floor, if it is destroyed, the heroes will die. The 15th floor might have something similar. Group 3 entered and died within 5 minutes. They probably did not even realize what caused their deaths. The second issue is we have about 15 minutes to figure out the mission, or else we will fail and everyone dies. Time flows differently in the waiting room and on the mission, based on the time anchor. Han's team only has about 15 minutes. 5 minutes in the lobby equals 15 minutes inside the tower. Once inside, the team will have 3 minutes to gather intel before the mission begins. Immediately after, the entire team was taken to the 15th floor, a town where the locals rarely see heroes, meaning they are all NPCs. The system now assigns the mission on floor 15. Protect a specific individual, meaning the entire team must find one person among thousands in this city. Team 3 must have been terrified seeing this crowd earlier, not knowing the mission or who the enemy was. They had not even reached the 10th floor, and might have thought that the target was to eliminate the civilians here. There are 2 ways they could die. Either killed by the real enemy while attacking the civilians, or by letting those they must protect perish in this crowd. So if they do not want to end up like Team 3, Han's team must find that person, Jenna said. But the important thing is knowing who to look for. It is like searching for a needle in a haystack, and wants to know if anyone knows the terrain here well. Well, there is Aaron. He once came here when he was a merchant. This place is called Adir, a crossroads that has fostered thriving trade. In the heart of the city stands a temple dedicated to the goddess, a renowned spiritual site known as the Silver Shrine. Excluding urban areas, it still ranks among the top 3 largest ancestral temples. Maybe that is the place to focus on. The person we are looking for could very well be there. Aaron also mentioned that something must be happening there right now. Then the plan was set. The team will search the shrine while Adir provides support. Just as Aaron predicted, a special event is happening here. The 4 of them enter the hall, and even when the gate guard tries to stop them, Han does not hesitate to take action. Aaron stepped in to stop him. Wait. Hold on. But Han finished off the last one anyway. They still do not get it if they can see us. That means they are the enemy. The NPC cavalry and soldiers on the 10th floor cannot see the hero, but these guys clearly see that, which means they are not ordinary NPCs. Still, to be safe in case Han has not killed them yet, they might just barely hold on to their lives. While everyone was still discussing below, above the altar, a man stepped out. Likely a cleric. The first thing he did was silence all the people with some kind of magic. Of course, Ivanka could not be fooled. She quickly realized it was incomplete magic. The device that amplifies his voice has malfunctioned multiple times. Everyone, pay attention and stay orderly. The Great Sun King's grand arrival is imminent, and no one is allowed to cause any more trouble. Han now urges everyone to quickly enter the shrine. At grand events like this, the person needing protection is often the main figure of the entire ceremony. And of course, the gatekeepers blocking the way cannot be missed. Han wanted to confirm if they were truly enemies, so he destroyed the statue of the 2 goddesses, and indeed, the system now warns of level 13 human soldiers. All we have to do now is get past those guys. The one we need to protect is definitely inside the temple. The battle was swift, but Han warned not to waste time knocking them all out. Just get past whoever you can. Time is running out. Only a few minutes left. If we do not find that person on time, we are all doomed. Han and Aaron fought their way through, clearing the path for the team to advance into the temple. Once inside, Ivanka quickly used objects to block the main temple gate. Just then, someone in the palace questioned the identities of all 4. However, Han quickly realized that was not the person he was looking for. The chat window showed no changes, so the person was definitely still inside, and glanced toward the hallway gate, knowing it must lead to the entrance. At that moment, the soldiers broke through the river gate and ordered the 3 others to handle the right flank while he followed behind. Taking the left side himself alone, he rushed down the hallway, thinking the old man in the shrine was not the target. Recalling Han's speech mentioning the great legacy of the sun, could that person be the one for this mission? At the topmost chamber, awaiting him, stood the holy knight Kyle von Charles, enemy of the Charles house. As a holy knight, it is my duty to show you the terrible wrath of the goddess I shall. He had not even finished introducing himself before Han swept by like the wind. Time's short. Who has the patience to listen to this guy's sweet talk? Once he reached the upper floor, He frantically searched, breaking down countless doors, but still found no trace of the person. At the moment when time hung by a thread, Han finally found him. He knew beyond this garden full of flowers was the one he would been searching for. But first, he had to get past these holy knights. Outside, under the priest's coercion, the girl known as the Saint is about to face a daunting task. The Saintess wondered if there was some trouble in the garden behind. The priest said it was just an intruder he had dealt with, so she need not worry. Meanwhile, Han struggles desperately against 3 knights, sensing they are on a completely different level than the foot soldiers below. Yet their deaths are inevitable, and made each of them taste the edge of his sword, one named Duck Tran, another bayed off, and one he lightly skewered through the face. A true act of bravery. In just a brief moment, the knights have returned to the embrace of the goddess. Just as the Saintess was about to speak, Han appeared in the nick of time. The priest, seeing the intruder, showed surprise. Someone who had passed through so many layers of elite protection. Then he used some kind of magic that looked very dangerous. But strangely, it was not aimed at Han, but at the girl called the Saint. At the critical moment, Han rushed in and beheaded the old man with a single strike. Yet the red magical attack was deflected, causing the villagers below to panic in fear. The girl, upon seeing Han, immediately showed a worried expression, thinking he was an assassin sent to take her down. Without a word, the black-clad assassins launched their deadly strikes, hurling poison daggers at the Saintess. But Han stepped forward, shielding her with his own body. If she died, your entire 5-man team goes down with her, so you have to protect her at all costs. Then, as they took turns rushing to gang up on Han, Eddies from above swiftly covered him from afar. With his swift agility, Han easily took down the assassins. A few minutes later, Eddies arrived and told him there were 2 more. But he did not need to worry, the other heroes had already dealt with them. But this innocent saint thinks everyone she meets is an intruder, and she is already chasing Eddies and Han to turn back quickly. Are you sure, Grandma? You are definitely going to die. She does not even understand what is happening, yet she keeps chasing after it. Han said, if you want to live, come with me. If not, stay here and play with the assassins. The girl hesitated for a moment, then decided to follow Han. As soon as the girl agreed, the system announced the mission complete. The special MP Frisis and Lagner joined the team, and the next main objective is to escape the city with Frisis and Lagner. Han anticipated this, knowing the challenge on the 15th floor would not be so easy to overcome. You order Eddies to prepare a breakout while you hold the enemy at bay. The other 3 in the team rushed over. Sep, there is no time left. The soldiers are gathering down there, and warned us. Remember the face of this girl who uses me. She is the one we need to protect. Among them, only Ivanka knows who this girl is. They meant to catch up, but now, who is who no longer matters. The important thing is to run and fly away. Eddies is ready now. She tied the rope to the railing. Everyone will climb down using the rope and open an escape route. She suggests the escape route from the left wing, where there are the fewest soldiers and the path is quite complex, making it an ideal hiding spot. Han agrees and arranges the order. Eddies, Aaron, and Ivanka, and finally Jenna. The plan was set. Ivanka would build a firewall to keep the enemy from reaching the team, while Aaron and Eddies would move ahead to clear the path. The soldiers saw Ivanka conjuring a firewall and quickly whispered to eliminate the sorcerer first. Meanwhile, and quickly told Friesies and Lachmer to hold onto him tightly as they descended. The young woman, seeing Han's handsome and gallant demeanor, seemed to soften her heart. Below, Aaron and Eddies stand on the front lines to stop the enemy's advance. But unfortunately, Aaron is stabbed in the stomach by a poisoned blade, and the toxin quickly spreads throughout his body. Han was worried, but Aaron said he is fine, so everything must be under control. Then, just follow the plan. The whole team keeps heading left, with everyone's safety secured. Now it is just about escaping with Friesies and Lachner to complete the mission. But those guards are still hot on our heels, capturing that witch and her hounds. The witch they speak of is none other than Friesies and Lachmer. Just as the team was surrounded, Eddies appeared in time, urging everyone to run this way, follow this path, and if we succeed, the whole team will reach the outskirts. Ivanka, bringing up the rear, swiftly uses teleportation magic to break through the gate blocking the soldiers. The terrifying chase just now is over. For now, the whole team is safe and tells everyone to rest for 5 minutes to recharge, then continue onward. I know Ivanka's barrier won't hold for long, and her soldiers will soon find us. Moreover, Aaron is poisoned right now. He asks her, how is your wound? Aaron's condition is grim. The poison spreads fast, and despite the antidote, the pain won't fade. Worried, Jenna turns to Han, asking, do you have any way to treat him? In moments of despair, Han recalls that occasionally some NPCs possess special abilities. He asked Friesies and Lachner if she had any skills, hoping she could heal Aaron, but she simply apologized honestly. Just hearing that, you know she can't do a damn thing. The members are all worried about Aaron, If he is poisoned, normal hay potions won't cure him. Maybe Aaron can only move for another 10 minutes at most. And the whole team did not bring any antidotes. Nor is there any MPs who can heal. Aaron, aware of his own limits, volunteers to stay behind and buy time for the team. Always seeing himself as too weak to keep up, Jenna disagrees but still wants the team united. Ivanka has no opinion and follows Han's decision and thinks that considering action efficiency, leaving Aaron behind was the right decision. Freezes could not defend himself, and protecting another person would have been too much for the team. After a moment of thought, and finally made his decision. He drank a portion of his recovery potion and then handed it to Aaron. You said it can't heal him, but it will stop Aaron's condition from getting worse, he said. Everyone, bring all the medicine you have to Aaron, and tell him to take a dose every 10 minutes. Then the team split up, determined to act without leaving anyone behind. The first group will be Eddie's and Han, tasked with getting Freezes out of here. The second group, Jenna and Ivanka, are tasked with protecting Aaron until the priestess escapes safely. The soldiers will only target Freezes, so Group 2 just need to move opposite to Group 1 to find a safe shelter. Though Aaron wanted to object, the boss has the final say. If Han has decided, you just have to keep quiet and obey. Eddie's advises Han that splitting up like this is risky, with so many guards at the exit. Just two Koas won't be able to protect the Saintess, but nothing is too difficult for Han. He found another way. If we can't escape right now, blend into the crowd first, then find a chance to flee the city by nightfall. Explain the escape plan in detail. Because Han's team can't face so many guards head-on, nightfall will be the time when the small patrols are less likely to notice us. Then we can split up and move silently to escape, avoiding a fight. If we are not fighting, there is no need for a mage on the team. Besides, Ivanka's fire mage draws too much attention, so it is best to have her go with Jenna and Aaron. It is easier to adapt if things go wrong. Aaron kept apologizing whenever someone was hurt, while Han believed his actions were not for anyone's personal gain. If Jenna and Ivanka can no longer protect Aaron, they must not hesitate to leave him behind. Their own lives come first. Then the team quickly set off. Han's group to the left, Jenna's group to the right, led by the three enter a slum alley, able to hide within the buildings. Seeing Freezes looking beautifully innocent, an old rogue came to tease her. But of course Edis would not let him lay a hand on Freezes. She explains that although this is a slum, it is actually a good place to hide, with maze-like streets and plenty of houses. Then Edis went ahead to find a place to hide. At this moment, a message guiding the long-term mission appears. Sometimes, missions extend beyond the usual duration. Even if the hero logs out, the heroes continue their mission. And thought Master must have logged out of the game, bored of just watching. As for that little girl, she looks worried but remains calm, and thought she was not an ordinary girl, because if she were, she would have refused to follow them from the start. Of course, she realized that in this chaos, following Han's team was the only way to survive. Not long after, Edis found a good hiding spot with a back door, making escape much easier. Edis was cautious, setting a trap at the entrance just to be sure, then waiting here until nightfall. But she did not rest. She immediately went out to find a way out, saying Han just needed to stay and protect the Saintess. Stuck in the room with the girl, Han began to feel a bit bored. I guess I should take Jenna's place. In a place like this, there is not much to do, so I feel a bit restless. Lost in thought, the girl suddenly spoke up. Introducing herself, she is the Empire's second heir. As you all probably already know what kind of person he is. Even if she is a girl, I am still ruthless. My view is never to trust anyone, no matter how beautiful she is. That is why I do not really care who she is. She just wanted to talk, but Han refused to respond, believing she would not understand anyway. She asked if he came from a place unknown to her. Are you the heroes who saved Nelsa? Hearing this, Han suddenly remembered Nelsa is the name of the city on the 9th floor. He would overheard some Impassis talking about it before. Seeing Han deep in thought, the young woman believed she had guessed right. She had seen them in her dreams. In the dream, the warriors fought tirelessly to protect the city. Though no faces were clear, she felt Han was among them, and the survivors of Nelsa recounted that without those heroes defending them, the city would have fallen, but they never saw the faces of those heroes. The young woman has repeated those dreams many times. And the troubling part is that everything is destroyed. An empire, a city of 4 great clans, and countless towns and villages, an entire continent engulfed in flames. She is certain that if things continue like this, the continent will come to an end, and she said that in fact, many strange events are happening all across the continent. Plagues, parasites, and monsters. She believes the invasion of Nelso is part of it. Monsters rarely invade the human continent like this, and the reason she confides in Han is because she wants him to give her the strength to save the world. Han does not get why she asked for his help when she is a princess with great power, and surely has many knights sworn to her. The sorrowful maiden, with only the eyes of a princess, is nothing but a scarecrow. No one listens or obeys her commands, and advises her. If you have a lot of money, hire a few mercenaries. Seeing that, she immediately accepted the chance to recruit Han as her mercenary, promising to pay whatever he wanted. She lacked nothing except the right conditions. Of course Han disagreed. He thought if she had the means, she could surely find someone far better than him. She refused, but keeps pushing. He thinks she is a bit annoying. You know that even if you want to help, nothing will change. Besides, this girl is just an assistant. Once the mission ends, there is nothing left for us to cooperate on. Francis wanted to ask why he refused her offer, and he did not hesitate to explain. She might even laugh. But we are from another world, Han thought. Since there was nothing to do until nightfall, telling the Saintess a little story would not hurt. To him, this place is truly filthy. We came here on a mission in that world. We are given tasks, and if we fail, we die. This time, our mission is to protect someone we do not even know who. Until we realize it is you. If we can't protect her, we will die. And we must return to our world after completing the mission. That is why I can't help you. And Francis, after hearing Han's detailed explanation, felt it was a bit illogical but still believed her, because he had not laughed at her story. So she would trust him too. At this moment, she abandoned the plan to seek Han's help, and decided to handle the continent's rescue on her own, and wondered if she was the one who called everyone to the square, only to learn she had planned to speak there to expand her influence. Right now, she is nothing compared to the power of Hong Hein, and then thought about the mission. Without us, this girl would have surely perished here. If every quest in Pick Me Cup holds its own meaning and is closely connected, then Francis must be enough worth saving. Thinking that, he told Francis his name and then left. Later, he returned with a new outfit for Francis. Unlike her previous clothes that made her look like a walking billboard for the guards, you would better just throw that outfit in the trash. After she changed, and said the three of them would leave in 2 to 3 hours. So he told her to go to sleep. Right now, your team still has time, because if anything happens to Aaron, you will get a message about an abnormal status. If it has not happened yet, it means nothing's happened. Just keep pushing a little more. A few hours later, night finally falls, and just then, Eddie's returns from scouting outside. She has found an escape route for the three of them. But there is still one problem left. The three quickly moved toward the gate. This was exactly the problem Eddie mentioned. There are a total of 22 knights and human soldiers guarding this gate, and the others are similar. If it were just Eddie's in Han, it would be easy. But bringing little free C's along makes it a bit tough. Moreover, the lead knight's level is 21. At least 5 levels higher than any knight Han has ever faced. After some thought, Han continued planning with Eddie's, instructing him to return to the slums to find Free C's dress and crown. Then find Jenna and have her wear them, and wants to use Jenna as bait. Since we can't know how long Arn can hold out, if Jenna disguises herself as a princess and causes chaos, some soldiers here will surely leave. This plan may be harsh on Jenna's group, but there is no other choice. Eddie's quickly obeys and rushes back to the slums, as he also let go of his arrogance. This gear is too easy to detect and risks reflecting light. Then he instructed Free C's to stay here for about an hour, and he would go outside. Only when he gave the signal could she run out. Free C's feels deeply worried for Han. Perhaps after this moment, whether success or failure, they will no longer walk the path together. With a farewell, Han took flight to carry out his mission. Elsewhere, Jenna's group faced no better fate. Aaron was running out of time and in critical condition. Now, the three of them can only do one thing. Pray that Han's team passes through the gate before Aaron breaks down. Just as Addis reached the slum, Han was scouting the gate guards, determined to leave before dawn. What Han feared has come true. The system displays a message: Aaron is poisoned, his condition worsening by the hour. Han knows exactly what he must do as a captain. If Jenna is setting up detection, the forces will focus entirely on her, putting everyone in danger. So he decided to draw the enemy's attention to himself to protect the entire team. In the heat of action, he mastered a new skill: moving silently. Meanwhile, on Jenna's side, Addis arrived just in time with the costumes. Han has now reached the gate. All he needs is to wait for the signal. Then the soldiers will move elsewhere. In the worst case, I will have to fight them all. After a while, not disappointing Han's hopes, a signal fire marked the arrival of opportunity. A scout had found Freesis, a few white marks on his lips, just as described. The leader hurriedly took 18 men to rescue reinforcements as planned. Only 4 guards remain. But the important thing is that the purple-haired knight is still here, though a bit wary. It is nothing serious. Then, so strike fast and strike hard, he charged with his sword. And in just 6 seconds, 3 common soldiers lay fallen by his blade. Now, only one opponent remains, the knight ahead, wielding overwhelming power. Quickly, he drew his sword, ready to strike Han. Right now, his mind is focused on the plan. With his current strength, he can't pierce the armor. so he will have to strike through the gaps, but they are few and far between. Knowing the danger, there was no time left to gauge the strength as they closed in and faced each other, with swords drawn, and slowly began to understand the problem. This knight does not attack Han, even when Han exposes a weakness. He does not even bother to counterattack, knowing that if he just prolongs the fight, Han will lose. At this moment, the news that his teammate was critically injured drove Han into a furious rage. Fighting with all his might like a demon unleashed, Han's current power level is 40. If he can't pierce through, he will switch tactics to break the knight's armor. But his efforts changed nothing, and Ivanka had already lost control of her mana after using too much magic at this point. There is hardly any time left. You order Phrysis to run at this point. Just run for your life. Then dash through the gate along this path and do not look back. She will escape with all his remaining strength, and fought desperately to clear a path for Phrysis. But the knight had spotted his target and began chasing the princess. However, his opponent is no longer just one. The assassin, whose whereabouts are unknown, suddenly appears and attacks Phrysis. I thought the princess was safe, but once again Han stepped in to save her, even taking on the poison himself. Still, he shouted for her to run, not to stop. At this moment, the system also alerts Mater that the entire team is in danger. That knight also seized the chance to see Han wounded and switched to attack mode. With just one strike, Han was completely on the defensive. Still, it seems things are not too bad. He managed to deal quite a bit of damage to the knight, but there was no time to rejoice. The assassin from before kept attacking Phrysis as he fled and swiftly kicks away the knight blocking his path. Then sends the sneaky assassin straight to the underworld without hesitation. After finishing, he returned to the battle with the knight, and was gradually regaining the upper hand after wounding him the first time. Finally, he delivers the finishing blow, raising his spear high and sending the knight's arrow to join the assassin's fate. Though he had defeated all enemies here, his body was riddled with wounds, and the poison was spreading rapidly within him. He looked into the distance and saw Phrysis had escaped through the gate. He thought it was time to say goodbye. I just feel completely drained. At this rate, I might end up in the morgue with that knight. All 5 of them won't just sacrifice themselves like this. Of course not. With every stride of Phrysis, the whole team once again glimpsed the dawn. The system reports the target has escaped the city. The team is ordered to retreat and regroup this time. Death feels more certain than ever. Jenna was terrified. Thinking she was done for, she angrily blamed Han for forcing her to wear that bizarre outfit, saying, "Do you know all those soldiers were trying to kill me?" Despite the insults, Han remained calm, praising everyone for doing well, no casualties, and the mission was a complete success. Isn't that great? At this moment, Master also saved the video successfully and disconnected. I bet he is taking a screenshot to brag about this victory online. She also said goodbye to everyone and returned to her team. After all, she never intended to stay here long. Surely the master will replace her with someone else. And thanks Edis for everything, including the bait plan. Without her, he would not have been able to do anything. She knows the formation well and has the ability to gather intelligence. Although Han is the mepit this round, I believe Edis is the one who truly carried the mission this time. Ivanka blames Han too. Every time he worries, the whole group suffers. Now it is time to rest. We are all exhausted. Folks, the only one who has not spoken so far is Aaron. Seeing this, Jenna quickly encourages him not to be sad this time. He was just unlucky, not a burden. Still, Aaron apologized to Han, fully aware of his own limits. He wonders if this is truly right, when he cannot guarantee that such a thing won't happen again. From all the training sessions, he felt that no matter how hard he tried, he just could not keep up with everyone else. The distance between me and everyone else grows wider with each passing day. But Han did not care what nonsense Aaron was spouting and just left him behind. But in truth, Han is silently blaming himself this time. We have suffered greatly because of Aaron. If he had not been injured, we would not be in such dire straits. But I was the one who chose to save his life. My thoughtlessness has put everyone in danger. Aaron's current level is 14. Not much level progression, but his stat growth rate is remarkably different. Jenna and I gain 5 or even 6 stat points each level. But Aaron's do not change at all. When it comes to skills, it is even worse. He has decent basic combat abilities but fails to utilize them effectively. For now, what he has is enough. But over time, the gap will only widen. In the end, he will be left behind either for lack of skill or lost in the line of duty. He won't have much time left to support him. He just does not have the talent. Hang thought he could not abandon Aaron since they had been together for so long. But he also could not be unreasonable enough to keep a useless member. There will come a time when he gets left behind, and it won't be anyone's fault. In the days that followed, everyone resumed training, and Matter decided not to send Hung to the tower for a while. At this point, and no longer forced Ivanka to train so strictly. From now on, she could practice on her own without following a set schedule. Everyone will get a 4-day break, just like a holiday, and asks Jenna and Aaron what they plan to do during this time. Jenna replies immediately, "I will be resting at home, boss. Lying in bed from morning till night. This feels just like our Sundays used to be," and told everyone to rest. But he kept training alone. Oh mom. Humans really never know when to stop. He still runs around the field carrying about 10 kilograms of weights. And even thinks that without these weights, he would not be able to improve any further. Your physical abilities have reached the maximum limit for a human. Maybe this is the intervention point Iso mentioned to you earlier. After you sent the instructions to Seeded, the atmosphere in the school office changed completely. The once fiercely competitive Hung brothers now seemed much more at ease. Then, when Seed no longer fused with anyone, while he was training, 2 newcomers came looking for him. Fresh recruits recently transferred in. One of them was very curious about that rumor. The guy with green hair told Han, "When I first arrived at the principal's office, I overheard some interesting stories. Rumor says I do not care who you were before, whether commoner or noble, as long as you prove your worth." Han is thrilled by these words and eager to prove his worth, and said Han even enjoyed the deadly battle. But at that moment, Han's expression suddenly changed as he heard the fools outside laughing and joking like they owned the place. It is known that Han is actually Velkus, a second generation, but a more mutated type, and willingly trains even without fusion, just like Aaron. And of course, Han is very talented. This time, Velkus came to seek Han's advice. He desperately wants to teach those lazy fools out there a lesson to prove himself, and warned him not to touch. Yet he insisted. Now Han's terrifying gaze forced him to sheath his sword and exclaim, "This guy is terrifying." But everything he said before was a lie. Right. Like he is just trying to prove himself. I remember there was a great feature called compaction for cleaning up junk. But it seems Matter does not use it anymore, and replied coldly, "Just do what you must, and the results will come soon enough." After saying that, the 2 quietly slipped away. For Han, principles are principles. Fusion cannot be used arbitrarily. That is the rule he follows when managing Nihame. And when Loki revealed his method, many others tried to follow, but all of them failed. Fear is one of the greatest motivators. When unity breaks, heroes will no longer heed the matter. Many heroes become lazy and do as they please, ignoring the matter at hand. That is why Han currently has very few active heroes, despite their large numbers. At that moment, Han spotted Inov, a carpenter just returned from the dungeon, and seeing him head to the warehouse alone, and asked what was going on. Han the snail knew no one was working. They just grabbed a few branches and played all day, so he had to do all the work alone. This place has really changed a lot. Where people used to die all the time, it is getting better now. Is not in the cramped room, and did not answer. Just stared toward the matter. By now, C should realize the situation is dire. The hero's performance is rapidly declining. I think there are 2 ways to solve this. One is mass fusion. If so, most second-generation heroes will vanish, but work efficiency will improve, and of course, overuse will spike stress levels. And the second way is to create a new motivation instead of fear. By now, Matter has also studied expanding the lounge, and new facilities can be built. Perhaps everything is progressing as expected. Seeing that, and guessed a new team would form soon. Lost in thought, Aaron suddenly appeared. He would just finish training with Eddie, and now wanted to challenge Han to a duel, and fears Aaron won't last a minute and warns him that trying hard does not always make you stronger. Right now in the square, Isel, following Matter's command, orders all heroes to assemble. Once everyone had gathered, she announced that everyone should head to the warehouse. "We will have to fix this place up a lot, and if we do not clean it up, they might find out." As Isel's words faded, an earthquake struck, throwing everyone into panic. The entire waiting area has now been expanded and upgraded. Just like last time, from its house to the training ground, everything has been elevated to level 3. Still, Han warns that something unexpected will appear, contrary to Han's worries. Jenna quickly reassures everyone. She says, "Everyone, do not worry too much. Matter is just building a new place for us. We have always lived in a rundown spot, but now the facilities are being improved." Hearing that, everyone burst into laughter, unable to contain their excitement about a better living space. It is true, sometimes you get something for nothing. After a moment, Isel announced the system was complete. Everyone could go outside, where they were met with an unimaginably majestic sight. The entire territory had been transformed. Everything has now changed to a whole new level, with more 2-story buildings appearing. The training center has reached level 3, so the heroes will train much more effectively. The bathhouse and relaxation area are complete. The heroes are pleased to have a place to rest after exhausting missions. The quality of the eatery has improved, and the heroes will savor even more delicious dishes. Everyone immediately wanted to check the rooms, especially Jenna, who was only interested in the bathroom. Now, everyone gathered in the common area, but once inside, everyone was horrified to find all the essential items gone from the sofa and dining table to the bed. Nothing remained. At this moment, and just headed toward the stairs and said, Can't you see the stairs anymore? Now there is a second floor. Go up and see for yourselves. Just like Han said. The second floor feels like a room for nobles. On a whole different level from the first floor, everyone's scrambling, asking how to book a room of their own. They believed checking in was crucial and began loudly arguing, each insisting their room be on the second floor. Of course, nothing is that easy. Isso now calls everyone to the second floor square, where Matter will assign rooms to each person. Later, Isso began the announcement. On the second floor, there are 35 rooms in total, and she will call out each person's name along with their assigned room. First up is Team 1, with 4 members all stationed on the second floor, free to choose their rooms as they please. And of course, Team 2 as well, with many rooms to freely choose from. Next up are Chloe, Enoch, Anta, Patrick, and Amaran on the second floor. Everyone else stays on the first. Of course, as soon as they heard the announcement, everyone below voiced their opposition. Jenna, like everyone else, wonders why the second floor still has many rooms enough for at least 30 more people, but they won't let anyone else stay there. Until now, heroes have lived the same way. Though their efforts and progress differ, their rewards remain the same. That management method is effective only when there are few heroes, and the matter involves aggregating those heroes. To upgrade the hero's chamber, a distinct touch is essential. Honestly, dividing it like this feels like nobles and peasants. Ivanker explained. This is how Matter controls heroes in the trophy room. Unlike the old days when synthesis used class division, those who are helpful and useful in the domain will be treated like nobles, while the lazy and useless remain on the first tier, treated like common peasants. Teacher Jenna still does not understand, and explains further. At least she still wakes up early to go to the training center and practice until evening. Besides, she also hunts daily in the dungeon. More than half the meat we consume comes from her hunts. Every time, she completes her mission flawlessly, and those people, they do nothing at all. Yet they still scream and demand their rights. By now, Isso was furious, unable to stand the swarm any longer. She unleashed a nuclear punch to wipe them out. She said, if I complain again, she won't go easy on me, so get lost. After he spoke, no one dared to make a sound. Isso's fists truly carried weight. At this moment, Isso turns to instruct Chloe and Amaran they are to work solely as cooks, responsible for meals on the second floor. As for the first floor, no meat allowed, but fresh potatoes are available. Everyone can enjoy them however they like. Yet among them were a few reckless souls. One second-generation fool who dared challenge Isso, only to lose an arm moments later. I thought Isso was punishing him, but no, it was Velkus who turned him into a yang. If Isso had acted, he would not have survived, let alone kept his arm. Velkus cut off his arm and smugly asked, as long as I do not kill him, it is still okay, right? A few days earlier, when Velkus first arrived, he was immediately told Han's story and became very intrigued by him. This is Alen. He tells Velkus that if he wants to get to know this place, he should follow the rules and ignore Team 1 and Team 2. They are real monsters. Velkus said he has seen both Team 1 and Team 2 train, and if training can make them that strong, he is confident he can compete with Aaron, and he is curious about Han's strength. But Alan's too young to know. He only hears rumors about Han through Jenna. In Team 1, Jenna is the most sociable, talking to everyone. Unlike the other members, after some talk, Velkus realized that synthesis would make players stronger after each battle, earning more skills through training, and the current core of this place is Han. That is what. Right now, Velkus acts this way to prove his own worth. Izel is furious at Velkus' actions, but he does not seem to care much. Velkus says, from what he knows, there is a system to eliminate the trash very effectively, but it seems Matter no longer uses it. Strange indeed. Saying that, Velkus threw the hand back to the guy. Han's hand could reattach itself. Pressing it on would make the severed part automatically heal. That guy got so hyped by a fan, and truly had no idea since he would never experienced it before. Before that brutal act, Velkus showed arrogance. I was here witnessing this fascinating event, and I liked it very much. I am a bit bored now. Anyone want their hand sliced like this sickle? If not, do not even think about objecting. Though some were cautious, someone still called Velkus a maniac. Velkus smirks coldly, replying, better to be a madman than a useless pig. After watching Velkus act crazy for a while, Han finally spoke up, wanting him to stay out of these matters from now on. Then he felt lucky for the guy who got his hand slashed, because if it were not for Velkus turning into a beast, Isso might have crushed his head instead. Sometimes there is a silver lining in misfortune. Of course, Isso would not let Velkus' reckless actions slide. She told Velkus and his group to stay on the first floor, something he already knew. But I am confident our team will make it to the second floor someday soon. So tired, Isso says one last time. I will sum it up for you fools to understand. Of the 35 people, only 13 were allowed on the second floor. The remaining 22 had to stay on the first. Those on the second floor can freely use the buildings here, But of course, those on the first floor cannot. If you try sneaking up to the second floor, you will all be dead. To reach the second floor, you must elevate your skills and experience," she said, pointing at him as the perfect example for everyone to follow. He proudly calls him an unbeatable supervillain card. Everyone should learn from him. To silence Iso, and pinched her cheek, stopping her mid-sentence. Then added a few words to boost everyone's morale. "If you want to live in luxury, then show off your skills without holding back. Mater's watching you all. If you were good enough back then, you would have made it to the second floor." But the low-level heroes here all opposed it, saying it was too unlikely to happen. They were all dragged here against their will. And now they have to live like this. It is truly unbearable. The name Velkus made him itch to draw his sword. But Han's strike stopped him cold. Han added, "I am just like everyone else. We were forced to come here. The truth is, everyone has to learn to fight or do something. Right, Jenna? Jenna talks to everyone the most. Her words will surely make everyone see the truth. That is for sure. We did not even have food before. And one mistake meant being made an example of. You think we train all day just for fun? Everything comes at a price. To put it simply, you need to get good at fighting, but support players and item collectors are not crucial yet. Most are fighters, and only a few talented ones reach level 2 right now. Half of them accept this, while the other half still oppose it and thinks maybe everything got worse because they were used to the luxury before. Suddenly, a fat guy stood up and shouted right in Han's face that it was unfair to make them fight while treating them like garbage. And they absolutely refused to accept it. Moreover, that fat guy claimed to know the secret Han was hiding the very way to make Mater change his mind. Izel heard that, sprayed the glue hard. Her face froze completely. No words left for such a fool. Han said, "I know Mater can't lay a hand on us. You must have tried to hide it. But we already know everything. Risking your life and fighting monsters just to live comfortably sounds absolutely insane." Then the whole group started following the fat guy, refusing to fight in unison, causing teams 4 and 5 to freeze, leading to a major setback. Faced with that scene, Han stood beside him, shaking his head in disbelief. He threw his sword at the crowd and told them they better cut off one of their own arms. If they cut it off like he did, they would not have to die anymore. Of course, they would never obey such a ridiculous order. But the delusional ones here are them. They believe they can defy Mater's command, and that no one here can threaten their lives. These words made Han smile inwardly. That was true. Heroes with authority do not follow Mater's orders. And Iso can't touch a hero except in special circumstances. Now, Eddies explains that if you do not obey orders, your lives will be in danger because you are not like us in status. Eddies tried to warn them, but these fools were not only stupid, they were dangerous, still defying her. For now, Vakist, Alan, Leslie, hurry inside. But these guys are new to synthesis. They are stunned and confused. And Iso had a hard time getting them into the synthesis room. And of course, only one of the 3 can make it out alive. That person is none other than Vakist, who trained hard hoping to take Aron's place on the first team, while Alan and Leslie have returned to their homeland one after another. At this moment, Vakist steps forward, his madness growing. He craves more, yearning to see even more sacrifices. At that sight, the fat guy finally understood what total defeat meant. His face was drained of all color, as if every drop of blood had been cut away. Before anyone could worry, the next 3 names were called one after another. Nerissa, Oliver, and Guter. Guter grabs the fat man's collar in fear, demanding why he said nothing happened when now he is the one being accused. Who cares? Who told you to trust a fool? The outcome of this gathering was no surprise. Nerissa was the one who stepped forward. The fat man immediately panicked. We will stop the strike. He is afraid that if he is even a little slower, he will be the one taken away for processing. But of course, it did not stop there. One by one, the others were called up. The others, now desperate, rushed to Han for help, knowing he could communicate with Mater and hoping he could speak on their behalf. Of course, Han is not to blame for not saving them. He could have saved them if they were able to cut off their own wings. If even this cannot be done, then you better disappear like the 4 before you. But of course, cutting off a winged arm is not easy. Some tried without hesitation, but most failed to cut the thread in a single strike. One needs either a powerful sword technique or high strength. Otherwise, it can only be done slowly, bit by bit. And of course, no one can do what Han said. Finally, everyone has finished compiling. Now it is Han and that fat guy's turn. Of course, Han has already compiled the results for the fat guy. After the synthesis, only 25 heroes remain here. Somewhere. A voice echoes, "You are all insane. You monsters." Balkus heard that hot temper again, fixated on dealing with the bastard who said that. He always thought they were just loudmouths who bark without bite. Only Han stays calm in every situation. After that, Mater started using the 10x summon. But since these summons were free, Most of the heroes were just 1 star. Now, the summon location will vary based on ranking. Free heroes appear on floor 1. Higher tier heroes on floor 2. And the selection process will begin soon. Through this process, at least 2 will die. And only a few will make it to the 2nd floor, and warns the team not to get complacent. Just because they are on the 2nd floor, we could be taken down too, with the 2nd floor in place. The 3rd is not far off. The levels will keep rising, and the rankings will change. It is the 2nd day since the system upgrade. Jenna and Han are enjoying breakfast. Breakfast on the 2nd floor was much more delicious and lavish maybe, because fewer people were eating. Chloe and Amaran always have to prepare food for 30 people at once. It seems their skills have leveled up, and ate while pondering the situation on the 1st floor. Fighting must still be raging. The view from the 2nd floor is stunning. Han can see everything from this new place. The 2nd floor is visible from anywhere. So if some people are not satisfied, it can inspire them to aim higher. After breakfast, Han went to the training ground and saw Aaron already practicing early. Probably having slept only 3-4 hours, Han thought it was insane. The biggest change at the training ground, after reaching level 3, is now having a personal training room and a duel arena. The private training room can be locked from the inside, so Han can practice early in the morning without being noticed. The duel arena offers no healing like the waiting room. Heroes fight in real conditions, and if seriously injured, they must be dragged out, of course. As the facilities are upgraded, so is the team. The current concern is who will fill the defensive gaps in both the 1st and 2nd squads. Right now, Han sees only 2 with real potential: Velkist and Nerissa. Han thinks Velkist's personality is growing harsher and more ruthless. But he is also very talented. The wild innate skill he unlocked yesterday has a rarity rate of less than 1%. It is a passive skill that turns ferocity and fear into combat power, perfectly complementing transformation abilities. Unlike Velkist, Nerissa lacks some combat strength, but she makes up for it with calmness and cold resolve. She is exceptional in stealth, camouflage, shape-shifting, and more. So if trained, she would become an excellent thief. Besides these 2, Han considers the others unworthy of mention. After a long watch, Han finally stepped onto the training ground. This time, Velkist wanted to fight him. Teach me once, senior. Here it is, just a bunch of pigs and dogs who can't withstand even one of my moves. And said if he calls his teammates pigs and dogs, then he is no different from them. The ensuing battle was brutal, but it was Velkist who faced the true hardship. None of his strikes could touch Han, yet with just 1 kick, Han left him seriously wounded. Still, is not that exactly what makes it worth training for a wild beast like me? The next day, Team 1 was summoned. Iso announced that Mater ordered them to explore the dungeon. Main dungeon, daily dungeon, exploration dungeon. These are the 3 types of hero content found within the Rift of Timelessness. And thought to himself, the dungeon had been unlocked since floor 10, but his team was only sent there after reaching floor 15. There is no time to rest now. The space-time rift has opened. Let us head down to the 1st floor. Though I do not know what that dungeon exploration is, it will probably take 1 to 2 days to complete. This time, before entering the gates of the Mater dungeon, each person was given some travel funds, 3 gold coins to complete the mission. Everyone happily accepted, but only Han warned not to be complacent. This could very well be the price for having to fight. Soon after, the 4 of them were taken to the Him Peninsula, arriving at none other than Nusa, the fallen city on the 10th floor. Back then, this place was chaos, burnt forests, piles of dead, but now, it is completely the opposite. Ivanka sighs. We have been through so much that this no longer surprises me. In the dungeon, heroes can't be sure of their goal. Sometimes they return empty-handed, but occasionally they bring back something incredible. Han is sure that this time, the NPCs here can see us. As they prepared to enter the city, Han's naval team was stopped by the gate guards who demanded to see their passes. Of course, that is more than enough for a romance. No matter the world, money is always the spring's power. Once inside the city, Han assigned tasks to everyone, saying to take it easy gathering information, but do it however they wanted. No need to worry about money. Everyone has their allowance. I want you all to enjoy some good food and the scenery. I will take care of everything else. Everyone wears a face of disbelief. Could this really be our usual captain? Ivanka, afraid you would change your mind, quickly left. I am leaving the city far behind. Do not stop me. I will go far away, to see the ocean view. Hurry up before I change my mind. You said everyone can leave. See you at the Sky Market in 2 days. Aaron did not hesitate and went out to have fun right away. Jenna wants to follow Han, but he firmly refuses her. After wandering around for a while, Han found it strange that there were so many mercenaries nearby. Just as he was wondering, the notices about the frying specialist on the wall suddenly caught his attention, and the main character in that special order is none other than Princess Fressis, whom he protected during the 15th floor mission. According to the records, the Empire's people accused the girl of heresy, aiding demons, defaming the royal family, murder, arson, theft, and corruption. It is also unreal. Can a 15-year-old girl really do all that? Or are those people just exaggerating? The heir of this noble family committed grave crimes and was banished from the royal lineage. Once a princess, now a fugitive hunted across the land, with a hefty reward for anyone who finds her. At the same moment, a boy curious about Han's interest in the bulletin board guesses he is a bounty hunter. Are you after that witch too? You are dreaming. No way, even the best people across the continent can't find her anymore. Han wonders why the boy calls Fresis a witch, only to learn she rips out newborns' hearts for sacrifice and practices forbidden dark magic. I heard she answered calls from those who should not have been allowed to. Even though Han knew those words were planted, his curiosity to know the details persisted. Naturally, he refused, saying he was very busy, and quickly pulled out a gold coin. And suddenly he became the laziest person in Nelsa City. Damn it. The two continued their conversation in a small cafe. According to the boy, Fresis was once the royal heir but has now been disowned. The only thing is, she was sentenced to 1 year of house arrest. Han wonders. He just broke up with Fresis and waited a whole week on the 15th floor. Yet a whole year has passed in this city. Looking at the symbol on the special order, I realized it matched the emblem on the armor of those I pierced. Gathering all the information, this order was issued the moment Fresis escaped the city. And now she is probably wandering somewhere out there. Then, Han asked about the monsters, known to have not appeared for the past 2 years. The last time those fools showed up, the council stepped in to handle it. And there is more. The boy mentioned a plague that made monsters multiply and the weather grow colder. But the strangest thing of all were the suffocating tunnels. It was a few years ago when those things started appearing all over the continent, so they called them suffocation pits. Strangely, some have it and some do not. And rumors say that at the end of the suffocating tunnels lies a mysterious stone that grants special power to whoever claims it. And immediately thought, if it is a stone with special power, it can only be an attribute stone. Attribute stones are the source of power for hero seals, their third ability after stats and skills, and did not want to miss the chance, and immediately told the kid to lead him to the suffocating chamber. With so many mercenaries here, it is clear they are focused on one target. And of course, the kid was promised a reward if he got Han there. Quickly, the two brothers reached the suffocating bunker, passing many heavily wounded mercenaries on the way. Clearly, conquering that bunker was no easy feat. The suffocating bunker lies right next to the church in the city center, appearing immediately after the invasion. Beyond this gate lies the entrance to the suffocating dungeon. But outside are many guards. To enter, one must have a pass. These tokens can be exchanged for money or a share of the treasure if found in the dungeons of guards and hunters. After explaining everything, the kid quickly said goodbye to Han and told him to come find him anytime he needed something, as long as he had the money. But he won't say where to find him. Guess the kid never wants to see Han again. Han looked inside and saw that everyone had brought a lot of equipment into the dungeon, so they were likely planning to stay there for several days. I thought maybe we could check it out another time, since the team members are already off on vacation somewhere. But right now Han has nothing to do and is a bit bored. After watching for half an hour, I saw the mercenaries glancing around anxiously, hesitant, none daring to enter, because it seems only 10% can pass the barrier. But if the captain can enter, the whole team will pass. Han is confident he can make it. Just as I was thinking, the kid from earlier came back, panting like he would been chased by a dog. Turns out he went to appraise the gold coin, amazed at its high value. Hey kid, you trying to make some extra cash off me? No way. Girl, of course. Once I found out this guy was filthy rich, I had to stick close. The kid explains, I am not asking for more. This is free. Do you want to try the service I mentioned? Or should I be your guide? I know many cool places. Han was getting a bit annoyed. He told the kid it was not necessary, but the boy kept following him. And it turned out Han reminded him of his little sister. Among the kids he played with, one looked just like Han, with black hair and eyes. That is why he started talking to you the first time. But just as the kid was about to say the other kid's name, Han told him not to say it, best to keep it quiet. Then just lead me to the Zen shop. Then the kid led him to a shop. And by coincidence, Jenna was there too, picking out a new bow for herself. Her new bow costs a full 2 gold coins. Hearing Jenna priced it at 2 gold coins, Han immediately opened the info panel and confirmed it was indeed a rare item. This item looks luxurious but lacks practicality. It is enchanted, but only with a defensive enhancement. I have explained it. Now tell her to return it quickly and come grab something more valuable. This is elemental stone, the key material for crafting upgrade stones. And said for sure Master Lozen will be pleased when we bring them back. Besides, there are some other standout stones here, all pretty fancy. But Jenna skips them, always going for the cheap stuff. Han advises her to ditch the cheap bow and grab another revival stone. The rebirth stone lets you face bosses that have been completed and are inactive. You won't gain experience, but you will earn quest experience instead. Jenna wondered who that kid was, following us like that. But Han did not care and just walked away. The kid saw Jenna was curious, so he trailed behind, introducing himself as Josh, Han's guide. While Han, annoyed, tossed the last gold coin at the kid to make him scram quickly, Josh held the gold coin in his hand, eyes shining brightly, and thanked him for investing in him. So young, yet already diving into startup investments. I won't say what I invest in, but one day I will definitely pay you back every penny in interest. Indifferent, turned his back and walked forward, reminding Josh that if he wanted to repay his debt, he should help the witches whenever he gets the chance. Josh, confused, watched Han's silhouette disappear into the crowd, unsure who the witch he mentioned was. Jenna shares Josh's question. From Han, they learn that the witch is actually the princess their team rescued. Freezes. The two continued their stroll, and soon the whole team regrouped at the courtyard. Ivanka is upset she can't go to the beach. It seems that area has not been unlocked yet. Basically, the peninsula is vast, but in this mission, Hung can't leave a certain perimeter. Clearing the rotten tunnels will unlock a new area every 10 levels. Only when they reach level 100 can they travel anywhere on the map. A week has passed, and the waiting area has changed a lot. A few have even reached the second floor, and told the team to rest now and start training again tomorrow. But Aaron defied Han's orders, leaving immediately to train, forcing Han to bench him for a match. Remember, in Niam there were a few like Aaron, and most of them did not have a good ending. Because some things just can't be forced. If they can't achieve something despite their best efforts, it simply means they lack the talent. They will either have to find another way to survive or sacrifice themselves on the mission. The next morning, Team 1 arrived at the training ground to find Team 2 already hard at work. Jenna gasped. Unbelievable. I thought Team 2 would not train so dangerously. But they are actually fighting with real swords. And looks back, sensing that something has changed. While Eddie's and Roderick train here, Zika, the team's first member, is nowhere to be seen. At this moment, Mater had already pulled Velkis and Nerissa out of Team 3, and as promised, the two quickly advanced to level 2. Hen was the first to notice the arrival of new soldiers. He quickly realized it was time to recruit more into the team. But there is some worry, since it seems these two just planned to follow a top-tier team. The three of them welcomed the two new members as they stepped through the door to the second floor. And now guesses Zika's fate. He was probably sent down to the first floor for bringing no value to the missions. A few days ago, I heard Eddie say that Team 2 only has 3 members left. They won't be able to carry out conquests with so few people. That is why she decided to tighten the training if Mater has not recruited the seniors yet. But Han thinks the two rookies won't be willing to join Team 2, especially since Team 1 is already short-handed. As for the two new members, they are now wondering which team they will be assigned to. I guess we will be on Team 1 or Team 2. Right, Nerissa asks, and asked casually, like, do you think there are any other teams on the second floor? Right after that, Nerissa said she wanted to join the first team, confident she would not be a burden. Of course. Velkis' eyes bulged as he spoke without restraint. This woman has lost her mind. She should know her place. She refuses to back down, proving that strength alone does not define a person's worth beyond combat skills. She possesses many other abilities. It is just a matter of whether Velkis has the vision or not. And finally spoke up. Are you two entitled to choose? Stop arguing, I am the one who decides here, Cinna whispered to Han. It seems that girl really wants to join our team. Strange, huh? And turned to Nerissa and asked why she wanted to join his team, learning that her main reason was the rumors in the territory. Though I did not believe the rumors at first, seeing it with my own eyes changed my mind. And guessed for sure she used the Resurrection Stone, a letter that helps heroes redo completed quests or view others' battle histories. Perhaps Wadov replayed the Han team's video after completing the mission through it. Nerissa watched every video and realized the rumors actually underestimated Captain Han's brilliance. It is only natural for a hero to follow the strong to survive. That is why she wants to join the top team. Are you saying the team is bad? At this moment, Velkis spoke up, saying it does not matter if you are new or old, this is a survival battle of the strongest. Not the oldest, so he wants to join the first team too. He also insists he will have less than Nerissa. Usually, team members are chosen by drawing lots. But Nerissa opposes this method. She believes that relying solely on luck is risky, and wants to switch to a more effective method. But the most effective way is still Han's choice. And Eddie's agrees with this. And later discussed these two with Jenna. There will always be someone unhappy with the decision maker. Isn't drawing lots still the better option? Does your group already have someone they want to recruit? And truly did not know what choice to make. If Velkis' personality were not so terrible, I probably would have chosen him already. Now, those two no longer want to rely on luck, nor let others hold the power to decide. And then asked, do both of you want to prove that you deserve to be on my team? Let us have a match. That makes sense, since Hen needs to understand their abilities before making a choice. Minutes later, everyone had gathered at the special combat school, and warns that here, Sister Thong's influence won't work. You two fight until one of you is down. Then I will make my decision. The first to step in was Velkus. He asked with a smug look if I was allowed to kill her, and said if he can do it, then go ahead. The two of them can fight however they want. Nerissa then poured a paralyzing poison onto her sword, one that could make the whole body convulse. This time, we are going all out because the captain said we can play however we want. Nerissa had the poison skill from the moment she arrived. She used it many times when fighting monsters. This is their first time using it. One cut and they are gone. No need to say more. Velkus refused to back down, saying, I won't let you use that on me. The atmosphere of the match is so tense. It feels like someone's life is on the line. The moment the signal was given, Velkus charged wildly into attack, and Nerissa immediately unleashed her sword's skills at lightning speed. The battle raged fiercely before the eyes of all around, with User the most astonished of all. That bastard is completely different from when he trained with me. Now I realize he is only using a fraction of his power. He watches closely and tells Jenna and Aaron to pay attention. They have a lot to learn from them. Both of their weapon skills are at a 4-star level, just like User, but their fighting styles differ significantly. This is not a skill that newcomers can easily acquire. Back in the match now, Nerissa begins to falter against Velkus, though her speed is superior. In the tight confines of the arena, Velkus' overwhelming power holds the advantage, yet Nerissa refused to yield easily. She drew a throwing knife from her sleeve and hurled it straight at Velkus with deadly intent. Of course, Nerissa's throwing knives are laced with poison. Struck by a painful blow, Velkus' body was instantly paralyzed, his limbs unable to move. Nerissa thought the match had ended early. While she was still believing she would win, Velkus' mace suddenly struck her straight in the stomach, sending her flying to the side. Nerissa's poison is strong, but no match for Velkus this time. He has and found the battle impressive and quickly made his decision. Nerissa will join Team 1. Velkus felt a wave of emotion darken his face. He believed he was the chosen one because he was the victor. He may be stronger, but with his reckless nature, I think Han choosing Nerissa was the safer choice. Only Jenna, Rurik, and Eddies truly understand why Han made that decision. This outcome is quite intriguing. Nerissa deliberately cornered herself to catch Velkus off guard. The earlier double attack was just a ruse, all to set up a single decisive strike. Velkus trusted his skills and kept moving forward relentlessly. That is Nerissa's strategy. Others watched the battle but could not grasp the strategy. Only Jenna, Eddies, Rurik, and Han understood what was happening. As for all, he angrily questioned Han why, despite being the victor, Nerissa was the one chosen. Han simply replied that it was just a matter of incompatibility. Han's Team 1 consists of a swordsman, a spearman, a mage, and a scout. All four are battle-oriented. So your team really needs someone like Nerissa to better adapt to the situation. I did consider you talented, but you are just not the right fit for our team. That is all. If you still can't accept it, try fighting me if you last 1 minute. I will take you in. But Velkus may be crazy. He is not stupid. He would not recklessly rush into death. I only saw him flash a knowing smile. What if there was one more member? He spoke while glancing toward Oran. If the team is important, the lineup should make sense. But he does not even take responsibility like a true leader. Velkus has watched every match of the first team. He found them all exciting. But there was one player who did not quite fit Oran. He asked the captain, do you really need someone you care about enough to willingly overlook Aran's flaws? Don't you see he is the one blocking your path? Jenna immediately raised her voice to defend Aran, saying, Aran did a great job. Do not talk nonsense. But Velkus opposed her words, saying that for someone as talented as her, she could not understand that sometimes indulgence is poison. Han's just fed up right now. Guys, shut up or I will lose my mind. Actually, I think like Velkus the spear user is not that essential. My team can change formation if a trained swordsman joins, but only if that swordsman is stronger than the spear user. You think you have less than Aran, of course. If he did not think so, he would not have brought this up. He is always confident he can easily defeat Aran. With that, he stepped forward, challenging Aran to a duel. This move caught the whole group off guard, but Han still wanted to make sure Velkus would not back out. Aran has been here much longer than you. If you challenge him with such reckless confidence, I might just change my view of you. Don't worry, brother. I will quietly join Team 2. Once sure of Velkus' answer, Han turned to Aran to ask his opinion. Of course, he had the right to refuse. For Aran, Han also noticed he was pushing himself much harder than usual. If this continues, the outcome won't be good. But Aran still has much less. He has been cooperating with the whole team for a long time, and even if he is slowed down, he can still hold his position a little longer. And to get through this, he needs a catalyst. Aran now speaks with a voice full of determination. I accept the challenge. This showdown will decide who stays on Han's team. Immediately after, the two step into the arena face to face. Aran wields his spear skillfully, while across from him, Velkus confidently grips his sword. A swift clash erupts as Aran takes the initiative, using his spear's reach to seize the upper hand. Jenna, outside, could not help but worry for Aron. With what Vulcus had shown earlier, it was very likely Aron would lose. But Han thinks differently. He believes if Aron performs well as practiced, victory is within reach. Both sides possess level 4 weapon technology. Vulcus has some innate abilities that Aron lacks, but Aron had one advantage: experience. And soon he made Vulcus eat dust. Clearly, Vulcus has no experience fighting monsters since he just arrived, while Aron has countless battles against boss monsters under his belt. Moreover, Vulcus has never fought spear users like Roderick or Aron, and Aron's spear skills are truly unmatched. Aron keeps feeding Vulcus, while Usur watches outside with a satisfied grin. Usur is the most satisfied right now, watching that arrogant bastard get thoroughly beaten. Crossbows have been highly effective for a long time, often used in hunting and even in warfare, thanks to their long attack range. They are often built longer and prove highly effective in large-scale battles, but they are pretty useless in one-on-one fights. The difference in reach between a sword and a spear is 1 meter. In some cases, this gives an advantage. But an ordinary user can't react fast enough against an attack from a short weapon. They can't withstand the spear thrust and lack the range advantage of archers. But that is about humanity, where they must break their own limits. So those theories are meaningless. Back in the fight now, Aron unleashes decisive moves. Though surprised by the power of the attack, Vulcus manages to dodge just in time and stood aside, watching, his belief in Vulcus's talent only growing stronger. Yet no matter how capable one is, the rules here are worlds apart from reality. Aron is faced in countless times, accustomed to battling foes stronger than both humans and monsters. Besides, spearmen have a different combat strategy than those wielding spears. Clearly, Aron has been showing he is in control all along. Outside, Ivanka struck, saying at this rate, Aron will achieve a resounding victory. However, Jenna thinks differently. Although he is doing very well, the number of times he hits the targets has decreased. Eddie's noticed it too. Aron's technique was precise but too obvious, making it easy for opponents to read his strategy. He quickly grasped Nerissa's attack pattern, proving his exceptional observational skills. Sooner or later, he will gain a skill similar to my mind's eye. Now Vulcus faces Aron, clearly wondering if he is messing with me. Aron replied coldly, "No one is taken, so why play around with others?" The answer only made Vulcus more furious. Clearly, Aron had held back just now as Vulcus spoke, pointing his sword directly at Aron. "I heard that team won kills during training, but this battle was different. Why he did not attack, and what my weakness was." Seeing this, and outside understood the problem. Aron had softened in that moment. He quickly snapped Aron back to focus. "Since when did you start considering your opponent's life? Are you so strong now that you can afford to go easy on your enemies? You better use all your skills. Do not let me down." Aron now unleashes his full arsenal of skills, as a fierce battle is about to begin. Once again, they clashed. But this time Aron's fighting style had completely changed, forcing Vulcus to struggle to dodge and defend. Relentless spear thrusts at lightning speed overwhelm him. At last, Aron unleashed his final strike, the tip of his spear piercing through the deadly barrier. Everyone showed surprise in their eyes, but the outcome was nothing like I expected. The only one left standing after the battle is Vulcus. Though badly wounded, he emerged victorious over Aron. Yusu is stunned. Can't believe his eyes. He clearly saw Aron gaining the upper hand. Vulcus must have used some dirty trick. No matter what anyone says, Vulcus has won. Everyone feels sorry for Aron, who lost in just one move. It is hard to describe. Vulcus is incredibly sharp. As the match unfolded, Vulcus deciphered Aron's attack style, prolonging the fight by constantly dodging his strikes to find Aron's weakness, then wait for the perfect moment to counterattack with a single move that can defeat the opponent. In short, Vulcus possesses sharp, logical observation skills and an uncanny ability to analyze and calculate his odds of victory. Although Han is dissatisfied with the outcome, as captain, he must keep his promise.